He's into the trees. He's going to show himself in the lane, though. They're going to continue to head over. They are going to see Seb make it out in time. They don't have a stun. Ana, can he get out as well? He can. OG will avoid that rotation from PSG LGD.
FY is just so obnoxious there, following Seb for over a minute, just stalking him, trying to have his team come over.
So that's about, a minute without Aegis being used for LGD. They have 2 minutes left, I would say, to capitalize on this Aegis. Oh man, looks like he is level the PL.
Pretty much back to a 50-50. PSG LGD 2-1 up at the moment in this best-of-5 grand finals. 1 game needed to secure the championship title. And at this point, they are ahead here in game 4.
N0tail hasn't had time to gather a full army of Ancient Creeks. Right now, he just has the Ancient Black Dragon. You really want those other auras when you're at a big disadvantage in these team fights already.
Yeah, it's tough though, because Jerax doesn't want to be following around his Chen, giving him the Aghanim, so. As Topson, see, he does have a Lincoln Sphere picked up, and they should have the BKB finished on Seb too. So that'll give him a little bit easier time to get those Blink calls as he's been suffering to do so in the last few fights. And Somnus, I've Scotty picked up, about to be level 25 as well.
Yeah, they just need a couple more minutes on the side of OG before they're ready to fight. Wait for Aegis to expire.
Seb, he's in, gets the call, the character's going to get FY, there with the snowball save, he's going to be fine, and now they turn to look towards the axe. The taunt's going to be out, Seb goes for the TP, they've got the stun to cancel though. Seb held back for now, Topson trying to offer his best from the side to provide some sort of safety, as he will get Seb back. They're able to get Seb back to safety, and Topson, he's running away. Xnova's there with the wraparound, gets the slow off, gives the vision for the snowball. TP from N0tail's coming in towards the shrine, but Topson, he's trapped.
That's twice in the series that Xnova just comes out of nowhere. Like, he's just on a warding expedition, then he just ends up wrapping behind these people constantly.
Perfect time.
Perfect timing, and has the Senton creep to boot. And look at these deep wards that he's placed during that time that he was running around doing so. He now has full vision of OG. Yeah, he sees Ana farming these Ancients right now.
Oh, Ana. FY just giving so much information for the team. He's got eyes on him. Get the punch on the wrong target, but the snowball pass will catch Ana. Ana, he's in trouble. The blood bright silence connects. He's got the man to back up in a second, but can he really play his way out of this one? He cannot. Ana down for a minute and a half.
Just having all this vision. And Xnova throughout this whole tournament has had the best vision in every situation, even when you wouldn't expect it. They're just like, oh, they're fighting on the left side. They're not going to have vision over here. But no, Xnova always seems to have those prepared in every situation.
And he has some incredible foresight to be able to have these wars that just lead to really clutch pickoffs. And Axe has not spent his money on BKB. He has the money, but he might be looking to save for buyback.
We'll see if any of the buybacks do get forced out. Topson's still dead for 15. Ideally, he doesn't buy back it. They may have to buy back on Ana. He's gone for 50 seconds. The split coming out from Chalice. He's ready to push in, look for the stun on N0tail to hold back the Chen. As the mid-racks are exposed, PSG LGD, 40 minutes in, able to open into the base and clean out this mid lane of racks. Still Ana holding on to that buyback.
And they're going to keep going here. They really want to force this PL to come back here.
Stun onto Topson. He will blink dodge it. But another tier 3 tower falling incredibly fast. They really don't want to use it. Seb jumps in, gets the call onto FY. There's the buyback. The Cataclysm isn't enough to do anything. It isn't. PSG LGD still fighting strong. Topson getting focused by Somnus. Seb taken down by Arme. The triple buyback's now out as Ana in trouble. He's pulled back for this one. The deafening blast onto the 3 of them knocks them back. But Ana gets focused. Seb! He's in with the call. He has the control onto the morphing Somnus. Now being chased by Topson. Blinks in with the cold snap. The PL army's on top of it. They get Somnus too. As OG, they have to expend 3 buybacks, but they hold on to the top rack. Somnus now down for 2 minutes. No buyback available on this Bloodseeker.
Yeah, he's 400 gold short of it. It's up in about 8 seconds. OG, they have to make so much happen here. They have to push out all their lanes. 2 of the side lanes are already going, but I think trying to get some kills here, like on FY here, would be very ideal.
I mean, look how close the Brew is at 25.
So close.
With that final split cooldown.
Oh, Topson, he sees it FY. He's used the snowball, he turns with the combo FY with the self-heals, but OG, they've surrounded him. Seb jumps in with the call, the blade mail, FY's gone.
Instant buyback from FY.
Still that scary, scary time for LGD. 75 seconds without Somnus. OG have the full 5-man pushing in all 3 lanes at the same time as they approach LGD's base.
I don't even know if I get the head up in this team fight. GD are goal, but no blood take up to 60 seconds. This could be disastrous.
He's got a full BKB on Seb as well.
Chalice really wants to hit level 25 before he pops that primal split. So close.
Just got to be careful, Seb. Looking for that blink initiation.
Chalice is stepping back. Grabs, they give him the tome. He needed like 5 experience, and they gave him the tome just to make sure that he gets it anyway. Just playing as safe as possible here.
Looks like OG don't feel that the window is big enough for them to push in whilst this Bloodseeker's still dead. They'll back away.
They can't count. They bought back 3 heroes. They weren't able to get any T3s, and there's no Roshan up yet. Big Daddy No-Tail's praying for a Roche right now so they can get that refresher, but it's not going to be up. And maybe we'll dodge a bullet.
At least they got a good amount of economy off of that, right?
Yep.
It was up to a 15k gold advantage, and they chunked it down to 7. Same thing with experience. So they did get quite a lot out of that one, but they ideally wanted to get at least one of those sets of racks to get some momentum pushing it with those 3 buybacks used.
Absolutely, it is this really scary moment of the game now for OG. We're about 5-6 minutes still without those buybacks available. If PSG LGD can find that one team fight, it could be the team fight to win TI in this window of time that they now have presented to themselves.
Ana's gone full in for that butterfly too. As they pick up also an Aeon discount Jeremy, so protected in O. DD did spawn, however, was killed.
It's also pretty scary for Maybe right now. He only has a 5-second BKB, and he does a lot of damage and will get wrecked by the X-Blade Mail Call if he finds him, especially with his BKB now. There's not that many ways to stop him.
So it's all about FY and Chalice, right? Just either saving or just getting into the midst of the fights and not allowing OG to get the picks.
And the smoke, it's going to be dispelled.
Let's get dispelled. But
He's in the trees, they're on the high ground, they've got the vision with the Shiva's covered, Anna's on his way over. They've got the snowball down, there's the Catapult. Seb jumps in, he's able to find the call onto Chalice, but Chalice already got the BKB out. The Sunstride's going to be down onto FY, but FY will survive. Seb pots the BKB, he'll try and stand his ground, but Seb, he's going to go down. No buyback on the axe. As Jarex as well, surrounded by PSG LGD. The Eon Disc will proc, but they'll fight through it.
he has to buy back immediately.
Look at these creep track by these Force Spirits. On the bottom rune, they have no creeps in the mid lane.
Sienna still holding on to that buyback on Jarex. But as Ben said, the creeps aren't here.
It's backdoor. And they breached through it. It's not looking like it right now. Maybe everyone hitting the same one.
That creep cutting isn't enough to hold OG in the game.
You see No-Tail's already running to just, he doesn't care. He's going to throw his life for this. He needs to just keep these creeps out of the base to keep that back door up. He doesn't care if he dies.
Which he certainly will as they get upon him. They find his life. 1 minute now without No-Tail and without Seb. Thompson, Anna, and Jarex. The only 3 heroes that can offer their defense during this final minute, this final stand.
Jarex is really trying to hold on to his buyback.
As Chalice split, of course, up once again. They're finishing off this second set of racks. He's got the Cyclone holding Anna up in the skies. As this rack's on the top lane will fall, the melee rack's gone. PSG LGD playing this carefully. As they'll go down towards the bottom as well. Arme, doppelgangers, he's losing a fair bit of mana into the PL. Still able to shift back into that Morphling if needs be. As OG, they will lose that top racks, but they won't lose the game. PSG LGD are playing it safe. They know how close they are to victory, and they will not throw it away.
And they know that the Roche is probably respawning pretty soon, and it actually is up, so that is that refresher shard. They already have pretty much infinite primal splits up anyway, but they feel very confident here.
They weren't able to deward that ward in the mid lane, so it looks like they are going for a Roche fake out.
Check. Anna is on top of X-Nova. The Ghost Head's going to get a set. Oh, he's in. The call, the MP, the counter, but FY's in. He's able to get the save off in time to keep this man alive. Get it up. Chalice is down. Buyback from X-Nova and Chalice. FY with the Invis. Somnus looking to get involved. Pots the BKB to get over the ice roll. They get on top of Seb. Seb's in trouble. Seb's gone. The axe down once again for 90 seconds. As now FY giving them the vision, but they see him. They've got the doppelganger to jump away from the snowball. The snowball over to Thompson. The self-fuels. FY trying to buy time for the rest of LGD to come in. Again, up into the air. Arme straight on top of No-Tail. FY will fall. Arme looking towards No-Tail. No-Tail puts the hand of God, but No-Tail beat it down by Arme and Somnus. Chalice gets the primal split off as Anna. He's been left behind in Thompson. He's got to do something incredible in terms of the combo. Can he find the angle? Jarex coming in, keeping Anna alive. Anna with the doppelganger. The deafening blast comes out onto the 2 of them. Anna trying to go in, looking for the kill. Can over will survive. Jerax back in the combo. Meatball down onto Challenge, but Challenge is so tanky. Boss the Shiva's gone. He's on top of Jerax. Jerax is gone. Anna as well. Can he really fight back against the Summoners? The next over is so low. As the buyback for Jerax comes in, he's healing Anna back up. That buyback could set them up for the kill on next over. The cold snap down onto the attraction. They find him. He's out of mana. He's starting to shift into the strength, but he's surrounded. OG, can they find the ball? They can! OG are still in the game. Arme buys back immediately. But now it's PSG LGD's turn to be without two of their supports. Seb's going to be back up in 8 seconds.
Oh my god, that buyback from Jerax onto that shrine, being able to save Ana, but Ana also toying with them with that doppel. He sent the illusion. They thought that was the real one. They actually couldn't finish him off, even though they got the thirst vision of him for a second.
With the level 25 talent on the doppelganger, it's really hard to kill him.
Seb,
yeah,
he's looking straight for the play. Can he find Somnus? He's hunting Somnus. He's there, Seb. He'll see him. Oh, doesn't get the call though, and now Seb. He'll be ruptured. They're looking at him, but Ana, he's straight in on top of Somnus. Somnus puts the BKB. Ana get with the double gather. They see Cataclysm coming out. And Somnus still alive. Ana will be able to force him away. They've got the hex. They've got the control. They're on top of him. Can they kill him in time? They can. Chalice got for 2 minutes. And Seb, he's finding, looking for Arme. Big Daddy No-Tail gets the penitence out. Only onto the illusion though. Arme able to waveform up to the high ground. Arme should be fine here.
Thompson's got the ghost, he's got Hex
maybe
up soon too.
Oh, the doppelganger Arme's over the trees. Can he hide his way out of this?
No, back, real one.
Goes for the waveform. Seb tries for the call, but he's already out of there. Nice play from Arme.
And he buys so much time too for his team there. The Brewmaster was dead for 120 seconds, now only 90.
Still a big window for OG. They're only without Jerax for the same amount of time. And that lead the PSG LGD had, it is going down a little bit. Only 4K, 5K at the moment with these last few fights. Obviously the 25 is now coming out on OG. Thompson's into the pit.
What a timely DD coming out for him too. I don't think they expected to be taken out as fast. He's almost able to solo it with the help of these summons. And that's a refreshing shot. There's no way to get this. There's no way LGD can.
Oh, and the Seb level 25 too. That extra Berserker's Call AoE. It catches people out. They don't expect it.
It does not feel like OG T-Rex now.
Yeah. The Berserker's Call now is, I mean, the AoE is really massive now when you have that talent.
It's so hard to play against. Can PSG LGD do it? They've got the Basher now for Somnus. But just a 2K lead with those last big comeback plays from OG. Still 30 seconds without Chalice.
Double Hex coming out now. Thompson and these 5-second BKBs. I mean, they were crushing with their BKBs.
Being spotted out.
He's got the vision. They're on top of him. Thompson, he's in trouble. The Nullify comes out, but he got the Ghost Walk off as well as the Hex in time. Now, Somnus turns out, the blood runs down. Thompson! He's dead for 100. Has got the buyback available. PSG LGD will certainly look to force it out of them.
FY just with the Shadow Blade. It just, yeah. As soon as they split up, he finds the perfect opportunity there on Thompson.
You got to be careful going out on the map when FY's alive. There's every chance in the world that he's going to be watching you from the trees.
And at this point, I think for Ame, it's actually going to be very worth it for him to actually just try and burn all the mana from the Phantom Lancer so he can't doppelganger all the time. That's causing huge issues in the team fights. And I see that Chalice is using his Dispel Magic every single cooldown on these Phantom Lancer illusions, but there's still way too many that are causing havoc in this team.
It's too constant. Like that doppel cooldown being 3 seconds just allows him to always be able to play around a little bit around the brew. They don't really have like this crazy AoE when you look at LGD's lineup to just clear out those illusions. It's really a lot based off them just trickling them down slowly with like the Shivas and the Radiants and knowing exactly which one it is.
Yep, he doesn't have the crit talent, but now he does have crit from that Bloodthorn coming out.
It's a lot of damage that Anna can offer to the fights now.
And Brewmaster without BKB, very vulnerable. Cold Snap, Bloodthorn, Berserker's Call. There's a lot of ways that they can prevent him from getting that ult.
He just commits it from the back, just to be careful.
Make sure that he can get it off and get some damage in onto the tier 3s. Anna's going to start to try and fight against these Primal Split Brewlings. He'll be able to find one of them. He has been silenced. He'll take down the Wind Panda 2 as well by the looks of it. There's only the Earth Panda prevails. Seb jumps and he gets the call onto the Panda, popping the BKB as well, so they won't kill the Brewlings off. They do force PSG LGD away long enough that Thompson does not have to expend his buyback. It's Thompson back in the game.
But then they're utilizing the PL very well too, by replicating him, sending illusions to get some extra damage on the tower. It's just one Rax left that's holding LGD away from Mega Creeps.
And they're straight out. They're ready with the aggressive play, OG. Thompson, can he find a catch? He's close to having vision onto X-Nova.
Should be able to find X-Nova. He is stalking him. He got sights of him for a second. He was a bit far away though.
Oh, the tornado. It's got him. Thompson drops the combo down upon him. The stun comes out though. Oh, the counterplay. Jax is there though with the heal, the tether. Keeping Thompson alive with the Abyssal Blade down. Candace here with the hand of God comes through. Thompson still alive, but Chalice gets the primal spin out. He's been stunned. Thompson, the cheese, he's fine. Thompson, he goes down. They get the kill onto the Evoker. No tail. Being chased by Arme. The bash is coming through, but the blade mail was already out from Seb. He tries to get the call off. The bash of the Cataclysm isn't enough to find the kills. Anna leading forward. The Bloodthorn onto FY. Gets the kill onto FY. FY bites back straight away. Anna looking at more Somnus again. The doppelganger. Arme on top of Thompson. Thompson being saved by Jarex. Jarex with the tether. Arme turns into Rodero. There's the call. Seb, he catches Arme. Arme dead for 2 minutes. The Hex. They've got Somnus as well. Oh, gee. Double kill for Seb. The clutch buybacks coming into play. Nobody has a buyback available right now. As OG stand with 5 alive on the map, 100 seconds without the Morphling.
This Doppel talent is just destroying LGD. They have no way to actually find Ana. Like Ben said, the Brewmaster's constantly using the Dispel, but it's so hard to find the real PL amongst all these illusions in all this chaos of the fights with tornadoes and chaos meters and everything falling all over the place.
And look at this. The tier 3 tower falling. Ana frontlining it all. What's he scared of? The Blood Bride will come out. Chalice with the Shiva's Guard trying to initiate. But Ana, he's poking, prodding, beating down, and on the side, Thompson jumps in. Chalice gets in with a big the call. Seb, he's got the disable on the Chalice. Do they have the damage? They come on top of the Chalice. He's into the snowball. FY buying time for him, but now he's vulnerable. He's gets hexed. He gets Bloodthorn. Chalice buys back. Straight back into the game. Ana trying to find his attention onto X-Nova. Chalice leading forward. The Tornado going to be off the market. Only catches out the Bloodseeker, but Seb, he's looking for the follow-up. Jumps in, gets the call. The BKB was out in time. The Bananas on top of it. Did they have the damage? Seb's got the blade on FY.
Okay.
With the snowball again. Thompson, Jarex focusing the Rags. Thompson gets the Hex up onto X-Nova. Seb healed up by Jarex. Ana still full health at the moment as the Brewlings are pushed back to the base. OG get the bottom melee Rax. As still 30 seconds to play without the Morphling in the game. They move towards the mid lane. OG, can they really get it all here? The mid rack's falling. They've taken a full second set, 15 painful seconds for LGD.
They're gonna keep going. They want to claim their megas.
Another tier 3 falls. OG onto the final set of racks that LGD have left standing. Azana, he gets kicked back. He's separated from the team, but he has the doppelganger. He's been ruptured. He needs help, but he needs it now. Jarex in with the tap of the hand of God. Give it that double heal. The relocate as well. Jarex gets him out. As OG will successfully disengage before that Morphling's back in, as they found both racks. Jarex will die for this one, almost certainly, as he looks to tether across, but the nullifies upon him. He has buyback though, and OG just took so much away from PSG LGD, as they only have a lone range track standing on the top lane.
I can't believe this is only 3 racks left in this game, and one of them is a range racks on the side of LGD. Buyback status. I saw X that was buyback, it was only like 600 or 700, which is crazy, but Jarex also kind of in that same net worth territory, looking at a very cheap buyback, but 2 in the game left. IO and the PL. PL is almost unkillable at this point. Like, even without the Wisp, it's still really difficult. With the Wisp, just don't even try.
We'll see this again. It's a save here from Jarex.
The control is just not there, and they don't have the way to kill all these illusions constantly. And of course, look at Jarex coming in, starts that relocate channel, and is able to get it off. No one gets the control on him.
Keeping it cool at the time that it means the most, but he's still able to crack a smile here in Game 4 of the TIA Grand Finals. OG making a stand, now leading 9K advantage in net worth. LD able to join us.
I don't believe they actually have any force stabs on the side of LG. That's generally how you deal with a scythe of ice. And I think they can get a scythe of ice on the core, get a blink call, and that hero is likely dead without buyback at this point. So OG, I would say definitely favored at this point of the game, especially with PL having buyback. LGD, they have a couple minutes to think about what they want to do before this second rotation.
Yeah, they can't be totally reliant on FY just getting these perfect snowball saves, or even like I saw in the last fight too when it was down bottom, he even tried like walrus kicking the IO away from when he was tethered from somebody else. They need to find some other ways to be able to save, in particular that Brewmaster, who just time and time again is the most important hero it does seem for LGD.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what they do with the BKB call. The snowball is the only thing, but they have Bloodthorns, they have Scythe of Ice for the Tusk, they have a lot of things available. Maybe Aeon's is perhaps for Brewmaster. I'm not exactly sure what the best way for him to deal with it is. Looks like he is going for an Octarine perhaps for almost permanent.
The sentry's down there. They see Thompson, but Thompson, he's already quick with the play. The Tornado into EMP, Cold Snap as well, they've got the Hex, but there won't be any further jumping. They just poke at Arme.
They're trying to make space.
They got the Mega Creeps.
That's the distraction play right there.
Up against the Mega Creeps. PSG LGD, it's what stands between them and the championship title here in Game 4.
And they got it right before that wave, before that 59-minute mark too, so we already have the Mega Creep wave coming in, that momentum pushing onto LGD's side.
And you look at their lineup, can PSG LGD's heroes deal with the Mega Creeps? It's hard. They don't really have that sort of incredible D-push or AoE sort of hard hitters to deal with it.
That's kind of what they've been lacking in a lot of this game, right? That's what we've been talking about with the illusions with the PL. They've got ways to find them if it's, or ways to kill them if they find the exact one, but as for doing that, it's very tough when they don't have just the Dispel from Chalice.
And he does too much damage to ignore at this point with the Bloodthorn. And on top of that, Roshan is going to respawn in about 1 minute's time. LGD, I think their buybacks are going to cool down around that time, but I just don't think they can withstand this onslaught from OG. They really want to be able to prevent this Roshan. It's super obvious when there's Mega Creeps. With Mega Creeps, that's the luxury that you have. You can just wait a couple of seconds. You know, the creeps will be hitting at your T4s if you wait.
As Ana commits forward. Has no boots, but a full Eye of Scotty. 3,800 health now on this PL, who hasn't been dying for a very long time. Now he's got easier ways, easier kill opportunity, and much more survivability.
Yeah, he probably has like maybe 7,000, 8,000 HP effective with the Butterfly Evasion and the heal, the Overcharge, and the Hand of God is just way too much. And the lifesteal from Shen too, which is another ability.
OG clearing out the pit. Very, very soon to be spawning. Roshan and PSG LGD are well aware.
Roshan's up. It looks like only OG knows.
Arme and Ana. He's some illusion action. Arme's gonna get caught out by the Tornado though. They've opened up onto him. Arme trying to get on top of Ana. The BKB pop by Chalice. He'll get the ult out. No Tail getting got out straight away by F5 with the snowball. No Tail's dead for 100. They'll get the Chen. Ana in the midst of it trying to lock down onto FY. The rest of his team about to come over to get the Tornado. Out onto X7. Looking for the cool control onto Arme. Has he got it? Arme getting stood up by the cold snap, but he's able to wait for him up the high ground. Thompson blinks in. He gets the Hex up at F5 with the snowball save. They get the bash out. Sonos will be able to find the IO, but they're fully low OGD. That's Sonos dead for 2 minutes. They get Thompson. Thompson dead for 2 minutes. Only Ana. Ana, can he do it here? Is it half out save? Kept alive off the back of that fight, as that very much looked like PSG LGD were able to tip OG over the edge, but that plus 100 Berserker score, you could see Seb as well being very careful with how he used it, keeping it to that opportune moment after any potential sort of Manta dodges have been done by Thomas Arme, and he gets the call.
9 doppelgangers used just in that area around the Ancients from the PL. Just the constant barrage of illusions giving that distraction to allow Seb to get that call off.
And that's another Roshan for OG.
These fights have to be so hectic for the players. There's like 30 PL.
There's just both sides. I mean, even the Enchantress is like taking a PL, and then the Morphling turns into PL.
I'm just impressed we haven't had any frame drops. You know?
That's true.
Azana. Down the middle lane.
Just walking down with a DD.
The tier 4s. Anna says he's done with this. He wants to end this game. The buyback will come out from FY. Anna. It's going to be snowballed. Anna. He's in. He's not got any backup on the way. FY will be able to get out with the Invis, but this doppelganger. Just over and over again, meaning that Anna could just stand in. Now he's got the backup of Jarex.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team bad.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for another day of ESL One Birmingham Online. It is, of course, MLP Dota on Gen X Fire. John, we're here for Fnatic versus Geek fam in a best-of-3 series. And well, it's the final day of the SCA group stages, but it's a great way to finish it off, John. I love these two teams, and it should be a pretty explosive matchup, sir. I've got to ask you how you're feeling today.
I'm feeling great, Mike. Day 5, it's been a lovely week of Dota 2, and a lot of good matches coming out. Of course, this is the first day as well where we're not covering RR, so it's a bit of a break, and it's always fun seeing two different teams play entirely, Mike. We have seen a bit of Fnatic in Geek fam before. Of course, this time around, Geek fam is having a bit of a better time in terms of score. They are at 3-1, if I recall right, kind of in a 3-way tie along with Boom and Adroit. So they're wanting to secure themselves the upper slot. They don't want to have to deal with being in the middle of the pack. And of course, Fnatic, if they win, then they kind of get a bit more leeway. I don't think there's anything on the line here because the bottom two are pretty set. So it's not a high stakes match, but it's still pretty important.
Well, it's high stakes for Geek fam, right? Because Fnatic, yeah, they basically already secured their lower bracket. You could make the argument maybe they could be involved in some kind of tiebreaker, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But for Geek fam, it's definitely high priority to try and win this matchup, because it will basically force them into that first place slot in the group stages, and inevitably they are going to be tied with either Adroit or Boom because they are playing a series right now. Yeah, I'd say it's high stakes enough for Adroit because you don't want to be in the lower bracket, right? Like you don't want to start off on the lower side of this playoff run. You'd rather definitely be in the winners round up against Boom or Adroit if you are Geek. So we'll see how it all goes down. Of course,
Fnatic's turn to pick.
It's kind of ridiculous. Like Boom Esports, Geek fam, Adroit, and Fnatic in that order. It just, I would never have expected going into this this Birmingham ESL One Birmingham Online. I would have never expected it to look like this.
Yeah, it's quite the shakeup. Like the traditional front runners in like TNC has been struggling. RR, who looked pretty darn good the last time around, right before the physical majors, are also kind of struggling. So it's been quite the shakeup since then, and it is exciting to watch. I do like how the openings are working out for Geek fam. Like they start with a Void Spirit, which is super solid, but more importantly, if you look at the bans, they ban out two Ice heroes in that Chen and Timber Size, so you're not going to be able to open with that as Fnatic, but they get the DK, they get the AA. The DK, of course, having a lot of flexibility, could possibly be the Ice hero or just straight up the Moon hero. The AA just takes a lot of that sustain away. We've seen a lot of teams fall back to it in that first phase just to have that presence, and it's a solid opening, but Geek Fams is starting to shape up just a bit stronger. Batrider's there as well, so you've got ways to jump in, find your single target. You can melt right through the DK, and that's going to be super nice for single target control.
I agree. I mean, mean, both teams are very flexible at the moment with their opening, so it's very hard to tell what they're going to be up to, but I do like where Geek has started with this Void Spirit Batrider. Of course, I do wonder, in fact, I don't even have to wonder anymore, because they already banned out the Void himself, the Faceless Void. We were having a pre-game chat about certain heroes that look good for Fnatic, and one of them in particular was the Morphling. It seems as though they really do Morphling on 23 Savage going into these games. Have had success with that hero. I mean, it's probably not ban worthy, especially because you've already got the Batrider there now as well to try and counter it out a little bit, but I wonder if Fnatic will go down that route where they just want to run a safe lane Morphling and just give Savage a very comfortable kind of hero to be on.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, see, it works really well for Fnatic because they have the AA. So in that sense, you're not going to be seeing that kind of counter pick coming out from Geek Fam because, well, it's not there. So they could easily slide into Morph. It does feel a bit early. I think Fnatic does tend to leave that towards the end. Maybe 4th pick or last pick straight up for that Morph is their tendency. So we'll see if they dip into it. I think they have to define their lanes a bit more. Would like to see a little bit more activity. Like the DK is nice. It's a solid hero. It's, again, flexible enough that you could have Moon or Ice play it, although trying to recall the past games, I don't believe we've seen Ice play the DK all too much as well. So we'll really see where that does settle in the end. They do pick up what seems to be the DJ Nyx. We've seen him, of course, be very effective with that hero. It's just a really strong hero for control. It's going to mess up the Void Spirit. So if Spike Carapace is up, it's really easy to catch the Void Spirit out because of his wide AoE. The Batrider is going to be pretty easy to stun out as well. So this is a great value pick for Fnatic to get that control in these two heroes.
Yeah, I agree. I love the pickup here. It's always nice when you can find a position 4 hero that just counters out the opening of Geek Fam already. Not all the way, but, you know, Spike Carapace is a really nice ability to have when you're up against heroes like this. And it'll give Geek Fam something to think about going into these next pickups now, because Nyx does tend to change the game a little bit, like how you've got to play it. Especially if you do find yourself behind, because that Nyx Assassin just goes into Vendetta, roams the map. A real headache to try and deal with it, though Geek Fam, they will respond with a Rubik.
Yeah, it's there are some good spells to steal here. AA's kit is pretty solid. The DK does have some good spells. I think you'd actually struggle the most with Dragon Tail because you won't have the range, but the Dragon Form's nice. The Breed Fire is really nice to mess up team fights along with your Fade Bolt, so it's going to be hard for Fnatic to pump damage out if that's taken by the Rubik. You don't have the flashiest spells here, but you have a lot of solid control to steal from the Nyx and solid damage reduction from the DK. This can play to Geek Fam's advantage as well.
Yeah. I guess the Ice Blast is going to be pretty nice though. Like up against that DK, you have the Ice Blast if you do steal it on the Rubik, and it's going to be very frustrating for Fnatic to deal with though. They go into a PL now. And in all fairness, there's no current real counter towards that PL. No way to deal with it. You don't really have anything big like an Earthshaker in that pause 4 role if that's what you were going for or anything like that. And so Geek Fam, now I wonder what they'll go down. It's a rough hero to play into. It's not very fun.
No. It's really tricky. Like you would really want something like the Ember Spirit here, but Fnatic did ban that out earlier. You have flexibility with these heroes. You could still maybe slide the Shaker in, shake up your lanes a bit. It doesn't sound ideal for Geek Fam, and most certainly is a very greedy set of 4 heroes if you do get that done, but that's another option as well. You would like to see a lot more solid wave clear. So I think the laning phase is going to be okay for Geek Fam as long as they kind of wait out for the Doppel. So they can kind of make it harder for the PL to stay in that lane. It's just, there's so many options from Fnatic to maximize that PL. And Geek Fam's got to kind of find a solution here. And of course, the PL has a bit of a timer. Like, it takes some time to come online. So if Geek Fam wanted, they could perhaps draft something a bit faster. Something that just melts these towers fast. They don't have the best options now. Like, well, you've lost the Lycan, you've lost the Chen. You could consider maybe a Pugna up there if you wanted to, although again, laning that it's going to be a bit tricky. And there's the Nyx.
Oh, they go for the Jug.
Okay.
That's a very interesting pick to make up against PL. Generally speaking, you'd usually say the Jug is not a good hero up against PL, and Jug's generally not a good hero in general right now, John, but apparently Geek fam disagree. They take the Jug for themselves. Now, mind you, the Jug does become more active earlier on than the PL can be. We can all agree on that. Of course, depending on what build you go for. But if you're going to verse a PL, I imagine this Jug should probably be going for that Battle Fury build. Which is, kind of drags the game out a little bit. And, you know, you put all your eggs in one basket there, because you are really going to be depending on Raven to really carry you through that late game with this Jug up against this PL. But maybe they might have something else up their sleeve. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I don't know about the Jug. Like, a lot of people like to argue that Battle Fury is a counter to PL. I'd say no. Especially in this case. Jug, as a core, relies way too much on Omni Slash for his actual damage output, and PL has a Doppel. Like, you are not going to be keeping that PL in place unless you get, like, an Abyssal. And then you could maybe make an argument that you could slash right through the PL. Maybe. It's still going to be hard either way. The key thing is, as you mentioned, the Jug is fast. So you would want to play that faster game. You've got sustain on the Jug with a healing ward. So there's some sort of potency for push. Your heroes are not naturally inclined, but you will leave your wave alive a bit longer so you can sustain those fights a bit more. The most confidence, but if Geek fam does play really aggressively, then it's gonna be hard for Fnatic to find that space for Savage. We've seen Fnatic in situations like that before, where they give Savage this farm-heavy hero, and Savage, you know, starts to fall behind a bit. It gets a bit hard for Fnatic to force any fights. They have to buy time for their peel in this case, ride through the storm that the Jug will bring, especially from the laning phase, and kind of temper that aggression out.
Well, this last pick will really explain everything here for Geek fam, what they're up to. Oh. Oh. Wait, hold on a minute. So it's a core Batrider then, I imagine, that we're seeing. Could also be a core Rubik, but it's very unlikely. So core Batrider into the PO. I guess that's one way to deal with this this PO, and
10 seconds.
you know, you give the XP gold priority over that Batrider, get those items up quick, and you just never let the PO get online because you just continuously gank him with lasso. But I don't know if that's gonna work. Savage does tend to farm pretty darn quick.
Yeah, it's gonna be down to Geek fam to maximize their early aggression. Like, a fast blink is gonna be key for their bat. This is just so hard now though. Like, Fnatic with the storm pickup means that you have to focus the bat control on either the PL or the storm. You will probably not catch both. Right? That's the biggest thing here. Fnatic has a fallback with that storm, and you might be able to get something big like the soul bind on both of these heroes and get like a double lasso off very early on. It's not the easiest thing to get done. What Geek fam need to do with this lineup, prioritize a very fast blink in the bat, have him really play it with Whitemon, so you're going to be relying on blink Inkswell into the lasso. Really potent. They just need to not relent. You can't give space to the PL, to the storm. Fnatic, with what they picked up, they will need some time to build up, especially on the PL, but the storm as well. We've seen, Mike, you wait for, they need that farm, and the Void Spirit should be online a bit faster in that sense. So you would want to see Geek fam use that earlier timing to their advantage.
It's gonna be a very, very interesting match between Fnatic and Geek fam. Of course, this is game one of the best of 3 series. Again, Geek fam definitely want to try and pull off this victory themselves and secure their winners bracket slot in the playoffs. Otherwise, they could be forced to go into tiebreakers. Which, I mean, are they? I'm not 100% sure with this group stage if they are going to be forced to. We probably doubt, but regardless, you always want to win, right? Nobody wants to lose, John.
Oh yeah. for sure. And one thing to add as well, Mike, it's going to be Carl and Batrider, so that's going to be the Batrider versus Storm lane, it's looking like. Cuckoo on the off lane, Void. Now, this is something the Batrider can play really nicely in. A lot of people underestimate, of course, the lane domination Bat brings in mid and the early farm rotations to your camps. So that's something Geek Fam has quite a fair bit of now. A lot of early farm that can come out super fast for the heroes, and it plays into what their lineup wants. They want to be on fast. Batrider down mid is going to be really fast to be up and running.
That is true. The old Bat mid. It's always very, very dominant. We'll only have to wait and see. Of course, we did see Carl on the Void Spirit the other day doing. I mean, he was doing an amazing job. Back end, we saw him. Not this time. He'll be forced to do that mid bat. I will reserve judgment for now. We'll see how it pans out. Like, up against the Storm Spirit, he should have a pretty good time. There seems, in my opinion, there's no way Moon wins this matchup in laning phase. Anyway, assuming he doesn't get any help coming in, it would be very, very tough for a Storm Spirit pre-6 to actually be able to sustain himself in this mid lane.
It's not going to be easy. You do have a very early magic wand for Moon, fully upgraded, so he's got the wand on hand for a little bit more burst heal. Smart move. Does expect it to be Carl down mid, so he's going to get a little bit more value, just a little bit more burst heal on hand.
Interesting that he went all the way for the wand as well, right? Like, usually if you're gonna go for anything, you'll buy a stick, and you won't really go wand till later on because it's unnecessary gold being spent. But I suppose in the mid matchup, the stats do help you out. They are pretty decent stats on that magic wand. DJ, a very nice bounty rune still up at the top lane. Double impale into just a bounty rune swipe off the side of Geek Fam, and it's not going to be the start you wanted if you were Geek Fam. Nice little play there from DJ.
Yeah, they still do manage to trade 2 for 2, so it's not the worst thing in the world. It is going to be rather annoying to catch out this Nyx. Really early boot start for DJ means that he's going to have a good time dipping in and out. Like White Mon will have to really just spam out the Stroke of Fate, and there's only so much mana you have in lane.
That is true. DJ gonna immediately go for a pull, just get that wave behind the tier 1 tower. It's gonna be a rather hard lane for Ice up until you get those couple levels up, right? So you don't really want to have to try and contest Whiteman and the Jug. So DJ's just gonna go ahead and pull the wave away. Ice will try and do with this Grimstroke while he has a second, but it's rough for a DK to do this.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a slow start for them. They are just kind of trying to split that EXP. Raven should have no problem though. Like, this is something the Jug is going to enjoy. He's gonna have easy access to his creep wave. We'll have to juggle Lassets under tower, but otherwise this should be a fairly good time to farm for Geek Fam.
Whiteman still being chased down by Ice, in fact. Just slowly but surely with this Orb of Venom, Ice is gonna get the kill if he doesn't get any help here. Whiteman, he's almost dead, but the creeps. How dare they? Block up Ice, and now Whiteman will be able to just turn around and harass him out a little bit, but he gets the pull off anyway. He'll be alright with this. We'll have a look at the other lanes while we have a chance. Of course, in that mid lane, you'll see Carl spamming away at that sticky napalm onto Moon. Moon is still having a very, very nice time though, 12-2. In comparison to the 5-1 of that Batrider. That is, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he's really leveraged his range advantage and raw damage output a lot better. Like, Carl does have to depend on getting napalm stacks, and he's even held off and leveling up an offensive spell. So we don't see the Firefly or Flame Break up. He's holding on to it, and that just means, you know, Moon just has to be annoyed a little bit by the napalm. But look at that, he's got basically 20 charges up. Just, yeah, there you go, 20 charges in the wand. Nothing to be scared of.
And it always feels very, very nice when you have 21 charges just sitting there waiting to be used up. Bot lane, Savage could use those 1 charges right now because he is being chased down and he is going to be the first blood. Zephyr will pick it up on the Rubik.
What is this?
Nah, Jabs wasn't really able to help out at all.
Yeah, this is something that you do get with like a PL dual lane. There are very few heroes that can play nicely with a PL. So Jabs just can't do as much as you'd want together with Savage. And Cuckoo with level 2 with that Resonant Pulse really can lay the hurt on, especially if you have a couple of illusions in that lane. It's easier for Cuckoo to kind of sustain himself.
Cuckoo, he's going to have a nice start anyway. See how far he can push that start. Of course, once he hits level 6, I'm sure we'll start seeing some play attempts here from Cuckoo on this Void Spirit. Looks like Zephyr is going to leave him alone for a little bit as well on the Rubik and maybe make a bit of a mid-rotation. He's probably got the call there from Carl that the mid lane has not gone as expected and Moon is farming a little bit too well. Here they come. In fact, from both sides. We even have Whiteman rotating in, but DJ is going to be able to scout that out. Does go for an impale, but now the lift onto Moon with that Firefly from Carl, but Carl is too low. He can't dive that tier 1 tower as he ran straight into the Static Remnant. And so Moon remains safe, and that's going to be a 3-man rotation in mid, really for nothing.
Yeah, it's costing Geek Fam just a bit in the side lanes. Like they are giving some space out to the side laners now without that support presence, but Fnatic's not really being able to maximize that too much. Like you look at Ice up top, even if he's left alone, it's still a Jug. Jug can eat through your physical armor, Blade Fury, and he does have a way of sustaining himself with a healing ward, which DK can't really reach back into. So Geek Fam's still kind of fine despite wasting those support times.
Bot lane, Cuckoo trying to make a jump there onto Savage, but still at that level 3 mark, so he can't do too much. But now getting jabs with that lift may be enough with the Aether Remnant, but no jabs. Aether Fairy Fire and uses stick charges, and that'll be enough. Both will back off, just trading regen. Cuckoo feeling the need to bring even more out, but now he could be in trouble. Simulate, back up to jabs, but that's going to allow a cold feet to come out onto Cuckoo. But he'll be alright, he'll walk out of range. Now Zephyr's going to be there and they look to turn this around. Jabs has no way out of this and should just die. The Savage is coming in to threaten Cuckoo a little bit. He does take him out, but now the 8th Remnant does connect. Zephyr doesn't really have mana, but does have a Mango. He won't need to use it anyway. They will just trade, and that'll be the end of that.
Yeah, it's been a lot of aggression from Geek Fam, which I like to see down bot. They're just making it super hard for Savage to find that farm. To be fair, Savage is still kind of finding that farm. Like, in comparison to Raven, he's just about, what, 1 last hit behind? Not too bad.
Well, now Moon makes a rotation up towards the top lane, and it was just a bit of a scuttle in the Radiant Triangle, but Moon will claim himself his first kill of the game. And finds himself some very, very nice stacks being set up here in his triangle as well. Obviously wants to take them before Carl gets in range and spots him out. DJ, however, is going to be chased down and does get lassoed up, and he burns very, very quickly to the damage. But I don't think DJ is going to mind that too much, considering how much farm he's given over to Moon on that Storm now. I think he's more than happy.
Yeah. It's a bigger win for Fnatic in that kind of trade. You force out the first lasso. It's not in the side lane core. It's not in Savage. So you're taking a little bit of the presence of Carl away. He is still saving up for some of his items, of course. Going to be going for the travels first for that easy access and easier time going around the map, which is fair enough. Like, this is the tendency we see from Bat Riders. He has to step up his farming game. So you would like to see some stacks perhaps coming out for the Bat, because he's just not keeping up with Moon in that sense.
That he is not. Does he even have any stacks going for him right now? Yeah, there's one next to him on his own triangle, I guess. He's got a double stack there. Not too big of a deal, though. It's not really that much gold. At this point, like, with Moon farming the way he is, he's going to be able to really start applying a lot of pressure. In fact, he finds himself a Royal Jelly as well, which is always really nice to have on your team. And looks like he may actually rotate up top. They pop the Dragon form, and now, well, actually, DJ just dies to the Omni Slash of Raven. Carl is going to show up, but now it's been straight onto the junk. Trying to burst him down, Raven. He will go down. Now Whiteman as well will be the next target, and Moon finds a double kill. They will lose Ice, and now Moon just going to try and run away from Carl, who does have that Firefly active right now. He does at least get the healing ward, but should just die here to Carl, who has so much sticky napalm. And yeah, Moon, he will go down. DJ tried to come in to help out, but it'll be a double kill for both mid laners now.
It's a nice time for Geek fam. Like, they do manage to at least find something for losing their jug. So in the end, they're still going to be pretty happy. That does help out the Batrider in his item progression. So it is kind of closing that gap between Moon and Carl. Still not too happy that you trade Raven away. Overall, the big thing is that your pause 1 dies and they lose, you know, they basically just lose Ice for that, which doesn't really matter. He's going to walk in. It's going to be half a minute till the Dragon form. They're ready to go.
He's back in. Vortex going to be there with DJ, though they did already commit the Impale and they did miss, but Moon may just keep chasing for this. Healing ward going to be dropped again. Zephyr will show himself now on the Rubik. That'll be it. Don't want to dive into 2 heroes, and at the very least, they do force Raven to go back into his jungle.
Yeah, it's gonna take the presence away from that jug. You see a really early commitment from Fnatic to kind of try to apply pressure up top. This is buying them some space in their other lanes, so this is free time for Jabs to play catch-up on the AA.
Easy catch. And, oh, Cuckoo. He beat in. Dragon Tail is going to be there. He does have an Astral Step. He'll dissimulate for now with the Aether Remnant, not connecting on Moon, who will just zip away. He's going to try and hold this by himself. Now Moon will feel comfortable to try and go back in. Dragon Tail will be there, and Moon zipping forward again. Perfect distancing from that Aether Remnant, and will find a secondary kill for himself.
Yeah, they managed to find some really nice kills. That TP cancellation kind of hurt them. That did allow Fnatic to continue forward. They take that tier 1 now, so you've got the dead lane top for Geek fam. They're not going to be able to toss Raven there for safe farm. He switches over to bot, which will leave him a bit more exposed.
Oh, Whiteman going to go down to Jabs. They were just fighting over those bounty runes, and, well, Jabs wins out the war. Mid lane, however, DJ getting dived right now by Carl, but he committed the Spike Carapace, and Carl, well, he has a haste rune. So TJ goes into Vendetta, but he can't get out of the fire and will die. Now Ice, you do not want to go into that man right now. Luckily, the Firefly does wear out, but the Sticky Napalm is still doing a lot of damage. He needs one more hit, but Moon is in here, and he cannot finish it off. Oh, and you saw Whiteman come in trying to go for a stroke of fate on the Grimstroke from a mile away, but he knew he was out of range. And now they go in with the Inkswell on Cuckoo, but Moon will zip away before the silence reaches him, and now Cuckoo in a very peculiar spot. He'll be okay though, he had an Astral Step charge anyway. But Geek fam, they're definitely the ones chasing kills right now, and they're not really finding them as successfully as Fnatic has been.
Nah, they don't have an easy way to get that initiation beyond Cuckoo. So if they want to get this done, they actually do have to play with their Void Spirit in this case. Void Spirit and Grimstroke together is really potent initiation.
Oh, they're going to make a chase down to Savage. Up in that top lane, he will Phantom Rush away, and he does have help, but the lasso is going to be there, and Whiteman will show up with the Inkswell, and that's going to be a very, very easy kill. Now Cuckoo will make the jump straight onto Jabs, and Jabs understands he has nowhere to go. He's going to die eventually, and Carl will be the one to pick it up on the Batrider. And, well, Savage getting a bit overly confident. He was in the jungle just farming up, and he decided to double into the Rubik. And eventually, just it ended up costing him his life. And I suppose he wasn't aware that Carl had the boots travel up, so he does have that very, very fast TP.
Yeah, it's just a bit too far forward when he didn't need to be too far. Like, there's no reason for Savage to be up top. He could be farming bot, although.
Oh, nice stopper out from Zephyr. Now steals the Spike Carapace as well, just getting every defensive ability he could ask for, and Carl will come in. Moon has plenty of mana, but Spike Carapace actually going to hold him in place, and now he's forced to zip away. Carl is still on the chase, but again, there's just so much mana available right now. and Moon will just use all his mana to ensure he gets out of that situation. Geek Fam will miss out on a huge kill, but they didn't, you know, in all fairness, they didn't have Lasso available.
Yeah, it's a bit more of a long shot, but Fnatic does have to respect the damage output of Geek Fam a bit. You know, they do come in line a bit early. You're at that point with Carl where he can just go a bit crazy. He's very close to his blink as well, so just about 1,200 away. Once that blink is up, you can expect Geek Fam to have Carl just really run around to try to find those single target pickoffs.
I mean, he already has been. That's the funny thing, right? He hasn't seemed to need it yet, but I definitely agree. Once that blink dagger's up, things get a lot scarier here for Fnatic, especially Savage, who he continues to fluctuate in net worth. Like, we constantly see him either at the top or second or third. He's just gonna kind of stay out of trouble for a little while and just make sure he stays away from that Batrider, who really is spiking in power at the moment. Like, speaking of, Ice needs to be a little bit careful as well mid lane, as Cuckoo is looking for a way to jump in on this Dragon Knight. They don't quite find the opening. Fnatic, meanwhile, they've smoked up. Moon again rushing towards that top lane. They spot out Carl. DJ is there in the Vendetta as well. They zip in straight away with the Impel and Vendetta Strike. They even commit the Ice Blast just in case. And you see why. There were so many rotations coming in from Geek Fam, but they just aren't going to make it in time.
Yeah, and that frees up Ice to take out that mid-tier one. Object as well, although...
Yeah, they get a lift off on Ice, but he's so tanky. That spin is doing no damage to him. That is the double braces for you after all. Aether does connect, but again, I just don't see them getting through that much HP.
It's not the easiest target to go for just yet. If you take a look at Raven's build-up as well, he is, of course, going for the Battle Fury, as we tend to see these jugs do, especially against a PL. So it's going to be a while until the PL's until the jugs in any fighting form. This will sort of help Fnatic. Like, you know, Savage is not going to be under any threat of being jumped by a very angry jug anytime soon. So you only need to worry about all the other heroes. And Savage is, you know, it's still not the fastest farm we've seen him on. He's #1 in net worth again. Got the Diffusal up, going straight for the Manta next, and then the Heart. And as long as he keeps that pace up, I'd say by the Manta, you'd be pretty set to go if you wanted to on this PL. So there is a bit of an opportunity for Fnatic in that sense. They are starting to slowly build up. You look at Moon as well, saving up for the Bloodstone. And the build-up should be pretty decent from him. He's been super active on the map. And that has kind of paid off. Like, Fnatic does kind of play a 4P1 around Savage. Moon has decided that, you know, he has to play a bit more active for the team. And overall, the rotations have been working out. So Geek Fam needs to find even more ways to punish. And we are reaching that point, though, where Carl, again, is very close. Just 30 gold off that blink. Should have it after this camp, and you really look to Geek Fam to really just go smoke up, find a key kill on the Storm. That's really the biggest one you could hope for.
I mean, they could try for Savage as well, though, right? Like, it's going to be a bit more difficult, but it certainly is possible.
Yeah, like Savage would be, in terms of net worth, bigger. It's just that he's so far away from the action now. Like, he's staying down bot, not really showing himself in much more dangerous spots where Geek Fam has vision, and they do smoke up. They are going to be going top.
Yeah, straight to Moon. Moon has plenty of mana, though. He should be just perfectly fine unless they get the blink lasso, and Moon, oh, he's going to TP away. Oh, he didn't walk into the tree line, and that means he is probably dead. The Inkswell follow-up from Whiteman was enough to secure the kill. That is some very, very unfortunate timing.
Yeah, it's a really good blink reveal coming out from Carl. That does mean Fnatic perhaps should be a little bit more careful on the map. They don't have too many offensive wards. It's all focused on keeping their jungle safe for Savage. So you have to be really wary when they go out and show themselves in that top lane.
And that they do. Of course, while that was happening, Raven does now have the full Battle Fury up, so his farm should escalate quite a bit now. Should see him really climbing in net worth on the graph, and he is currently sitting at second. He's going for that Yasha straight after, so very standard stuff for the jug. Savage, of course, already has the defusal and is trying to go into the Asha himself to go into a Manta style. Oh, nothing really changes with PLs. It's just what you tend to do. So
Yeah.
it's a very similar start for both these two cores. Like, both these POS ones have had, you know, it's basically been the same game. Savage is 300 gold in front, but it's really nothing. Like, the Battle Fury just came up, so you'd imagine Raven should, in theory, start to overtake here just a bit as well.
Yeah, it should be easier for Raven to find
Lane.
more efficiency. Oh,
Zephyr getting caught out. And Ice was there to set up with his own Blink Dagger on the DK.
yeah, it's a pretty nice pick off. Not the biggest kill in the world. They would look to perhaps get a bit of a push going, because they did commit that dragon form. So you see a bit of a movement up to top. They want to try chipping away perhaps at that tier 2. And they should be able to get some decent damage out. I don't think they have enough to clear it out, but they should chip it to around half if they commit.
Oh, they might go all the way. No, never mind. There's going to be a TP mid. But they are making a chase onto Carl right now, and with the Firefly, of course, he does leave a trail behind, but he has a haste rune, so he's flying at pretty fast speeds. Instead, however, they spot out Cuckoo, who may not know what's going on because he just disconnected from the game. So, Ice already making the pings out. He's got the blink ready to go, and Cuckoo may just die here, as Moon also has a decent enough amount of mana to make the jump in on the Void Spirit if they do get the stun off.
Yeah, is a bit of a scary situation for Cuckoo. They don't have vision in this Radiant side, or at least by the river side. So that's something Fnatic can really maximize here. So,
Nice does get the stun off, and now the zip in from Moon with the Ice Blast to fly in. Is it enough? Cuckoo, he does dissimulate. Should be fine for now, but the Ice Blast damage is slowly ticking away, and well, Moon actually finds Whiteman while he's at it. And Cuckoo will barely survive with his life intact. I think he had about 50 HP before he ticked out.
oh,
Team on
Savage.
top, however, Savage being chased down. Carl will get diffused up, but Savage should eventually just be dead. Surely. Omni Slash, yeah, they just commit the Omni. They don't want to waste any time with this PL. Just secure the kill. Though,
Yeah, if you... Oh?
yeah, DJ's here with jabs. They've got an Ice Blast.
Oh, no.
No, they're going to spin. The Impale missed anyway. And DJ, he'll be fine. They're not going to make the full jump in. And it's lucky they didn't either, because Moon is there on the Storm Spirit, ready to just jump back in and start a big team fight if he could. Geek fam, they'll happily just get back to farming up. That Cuckoo does get jumped now with that Ice Blast, and this time they do secure the kill.
Yeah, really good timing in finding that one. That's right after Moon's Bloodstone, so he gets an additional charge. Always happy when that happens as a Storm. Fnatic, if they want to play around this top area, really need wards. Especially if they toss Savage up there. They just can't have the guy unprotected, or at least without vision. So they need to tidy up the areas where Savage farms.
That they do. Savage is just currently running with his team though. While Moon zipping to his outpost.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
That 20-minute mark, and well, Fnatic, they didn't actually get any outpost XP as they were both denied off by Geek fam. Or in fact, never mind, it was the other way around I meant. Fnatic actually got both outposts.
It's a nice little boon for them. Right in the nick of time, I believe, that bottom outpost take, and they also do secure all the runes. It looks like they will be able to get control of the top runes as well. So a bit of a gold advantage coming in there as Geek fam hasn't really nailed down control of the map. They do smoke up though. Maybe they find something big.
I mean, they've got the Yasha up now on Raven, and in all fairness, Omni Slash is still 15 seconds away, but they may feel like they'll have enough time by the time they get to the team fight, and well, now it's 10 seconds away, so it's almost certainly going to be up very, very soon. There will be a jump in straight onto Ice. They'll just try and secure this DK kill. Only this. And they do get it. And with that, well, They'll take some creeps away, but more importantly, I think they really want to just try and take out that tier 1 mid tower.
Yeah,
Or maybe Cuckoo getting caught out by Moon. Ice Blast again to fly in.
Oh no.
And Moon is tipping Cuckoo now, just thanking him for all the free kills. Although, oh, Moon, no.
Oh, no.
Not like this, Moon. You just
No.
tipped him.
Come
Oh,
on.
that's it, Cuckoo. Tip him back, Cuckoo.
Oh, overconfidence.
You can't tip and then die a second after. That is an automatic re-tip. Carl, of course, in trouble now, going to try and run away. He does get Lance, but he is a very, very fast bat, though. No, the Spike Carapace will hold him in place. But essentially, Geek fam, although it wasn't the cleanest effort, they got the tier 1 mid tower. So it's not all too bad.
Yeah, I mean, you're still happy about killing that Storm anyway. You take away a charge in his Bloodstone, you slow down his farm just a tad bit, and you take away the presence Fnatic's relying on. They really do rely on Moon to get them their plays right now, because Ice is not really in a position to get all this done himself, and Savage can do some damage, but it's not perfectly safe for him.
Wyman gets the ink swell off, but he will not survive. However, Savage is currently pretty alone. His team is running in, but he may die in the process. Ice Blast is there. Raven will go for the spin. Savage still falling low, but Cuckoo's falling even lower. Raven, he does end up dying, and now Cuckoo, he's going to be a sitting duck, and Savage walks out of there with a triple kill. And I was almost certain he was going to die, but it just was not the case, and that is going to be almost a full team wipe.
Geek fam, they've got to be oh no.
Okay,
oh,
Carl
no.
wants to give him the full team wipe. Let's make it a full one. Carl will try and run away. Savage is going to run on the outskirts of the river, and they will not be able to secure Carl.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Yeah, it's still so much better for Fnatic though. Like, they find the big kill on the Jug at last, so this does give us a bit of a better lead on Savage. You're reaching the point on the PL where he is scary. Like, this is the starting point for most PLs. Diffusal Manta is your building block. It's not quite perfect, but it's enough. You also see the Basher build up into the heart for Savage, which is really, really good. It gives you control on the Jug when he spins. If you get that lucky bash, Raven's just going to be stuck in a really awkward spot. And Geek fam right now needs to be a lot more careful with when they commit the Omni. They need it in these big fights, and they need to guarantee that Raven catches big heroes for that spell, because if they don't, then the Jug, it's hard for him to man fight against a PL. You know, even with a Battle Fury, the PL is just so slippery. He's just got so much utility in his kit that the Jug can kind of struggle.
What do you think about the Aghanim Scepter this game? Like, is there viability? Because it does feel like the Omni is so important, but in fact, hold that thought, because Cuckoo could be in trouble. But no, he'll be fine. But the Aghanim Scepter Jug, this game does seem like it could work out quite nicely, and
oh no,
definitely hold that thought. Cuckoo has been caught out. He does Astral Step once, has another one, will throw up, but what an Ice Blast, just perfectly on point.
Is under attack.
Jabs will just compliment himself.
Can't blame him. That was really well predicted. Doesn't lead to a kill, but defense potential from Geek fam, and well, Fnatic with that little control lead do just take over the jungle, maybe look towards that mid tier 2. And regarding that Jug buildup, I think Ags is pretty good. I think in almost every case though, like, Ags is definitely in Juggernaut's consideration, whether it's a 6th item pick or 7th as a synth, although DJ.
DJ gonna get...
Oh no, come on.
No. Lasso is there, but they should find the kill eventually.
Yeah. The lasso wasn't maximized because the Spike Carapace was right on top when they casted it, so just took them a bit too long to find that kill, and Fnatic, they're not gonna have any further stragglers, although with a smoke, maybe?
They might find Jabs. The thing is, you don't have that lasso, and Fnatic know this. You do have the Omni Slash though. Raven gonna run in, smoke gonna be broken on the AA. They'll just commit onto Jabs, just get another kill for themselves, and well, that'll pretty much be it, right? They're not really in range for another objective. They think about the Roshan attempt, but I don't believe they're quite strong enough yet to take a quick Roshan. Just straight back to farming.
Yeah, they have to. They need more resources in their jug in particular. Raven, once he has the butterfly, is going to be in a better spot. I'd say you want magic damage in here, although
Cuckoo does dissimulate, back straight into mid, and we'll use that essence ring again. We'll survive. That essence ring has consistently saved Cuckoo this game. He's been on the edge constantly. Still, it looks like Fnatic are going to continue to try and find pickoffs here. You are getting very close to that point as well where Savage is going to have the heart up. He already has the Reaver. Opting to skip the Basher first. Which is perfectly fine, because that heart is going to make it seemingly impossible to kill the man. And there it is.
You don't have damage, as it is right now in Geek Fam. Like, you will rely on the lasso and the magic damage right now. And beyond that, your jug, I don't think is in a position to be too scary. Although that Mindbreaker does help just a tad, especially against a PL. Still, Grosh can be taken by Fnatic, and Geek Fam does not have info on the map to see this one.
No, they do not. It's a big win for Fnatic if they do get it, but Geek Fam are rushing their way there. They seem to know something is up. This could be a big Roshan teamfight as Carl, he does have the lasso. Now they will know. Savage will doppel straight out. Meanwhile, Ice is there. Lasso was on Whiteman, I believe. In fact, no, it was Ice, but he will survive. Now Moon jumping straight onto Carl, trying to control that Bat Rider up. He will go down. Meanwhile, Savage onto Raven, draining all that mana on the jug. Raven is still man-fighting Savage, who runs away now. Cuckoo, though, will go down on the Void Spirit, and Whiteman also loses his life on the Grimstroke, and in fact, make it a fourth in the form of Zephyr. And now you can just go straight back into that Roshan pit.
It's the damage. It's the damage output you're seeing from Raven. Like, his farm is great, you know, all things considered. His farm is pretty darn good. It's just that jug is not melting through anyone. We saw him throw the Omni Slash on top of the lasso onto Ice. He might have been bouncing around a bit, but it felt like it was just tickling all the heroes from Fnatic. It's just not enough. You need a lot more on the jug here, to really be a menace, and it feels like it's going to take a bit too long for the jug to reach that point.
It is really starting to feel that way. Like, he's gonna have a butterfly up soon, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough. I mean, at one point during that team fight, it looked pretty nice. Raven was successfully man-fighting the PL and winning, but the problem is finding out which one the real PL is. There was just so many illusions, and ultimately he was attacking the wrong one. Heat damage that was doing all the work. Now Carl, top lane, getting caught out as Moon will zip in, but he has plenty of help around, or maybe he doesn't. Zephyr gets silenced. Carl is going to die, and now other Rubik should also follow in his footsteps. Moon is just going to go ahead and secure that kill, and well, Ice, Dragon Tail is going to be there on Cuckoo, but DJ also used the Yules at the same time, and he will not be able to land the Impale.
Yeah, that yields did kind of cost him. Did break that chain stunning off, so a bit of a missed opportunity. Fnatic's still gonna be perfectly happy. Like, this is going to allow them to just take that mid-tier 2. One less objective on the map for Geek Fam. They've only got their bot lane intact. So at the least there's still a tier 1 that Fnatic has to go through, but it won't take them too long to melt that tower.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically more gold for Fnatic anyway. They're just gonna go ahead and claim it now. As if they needed the gold. Like, Savage is about to have that full Basher up. What's he got coming out? Yeah, it's gonna be most of the Basher. He just needs a recipe. Do find Raven's courier as well. Well, with the 17k net worth lead on the side of Fnatic, this is starting to look very, very, very dominant from this Radiant side. You know, 20 minutes ago, we'd make the argument it was a very even game, but this draft was pretty sure to fall off if they did kind of end up in this situation. You're starting to see the weaknesses of the jug. It doesn't really scale as well as it used to either.
Cuckoo.
Yeah. He's dead. That's not good.
That's a great Orchid reveal from Moon. All things considered, that's a pretty late Orchid as well on the Storm. You don't tend to see it this late, but it's still doing a lot of work.
Zip in, Moon. Goes straight onto Wyman. It'll be an easy Grimstroke kill, or will it? He gets a Soulbind off, but both those supports are definitely going to die. And, well, you're near the tier 3 towers, you may as well. In fact, they found Carl. Moon, he's going to zip in after DJ. They're going to find a 4th pick-off now. And, Fnatic, I mean, they have a bit more time, but they have a lot of time on that Dragon form. They could definitely apply a lot of pressure.
Yeah, there's no way Geek Fam can really defend this one. Like, maybe they get a good lasso once you get the respawn in your bat. That's a full minute though. That's a lot of time where you just don't have presence. You could maybe have Cuckoo zip in and out. Very dangerous proposition for Void. Oh.
Well, Cuckoo getting caught out again, and there's the Orchid from Moon, and now he thinks about going after Raven. He's going to be an Ice Blast just flying through, and eventually Moon, he is very low on mana anyway. Like, he does have the Aegis, but you definitely don't want to just throw it away if you can avoid doing so. And so instead, up to the top lane. In fact, no, Ice jumping back in onto the junk. They force the buyback from Cuckoo.
Oh man, I love this from Jabs. He actually finishes up the Kaya and Sanj, so got a little bit more tankiness in our AA.
Cuckoo caught out again. We'll go down. That's going to be a dieback on Cuckoo. And yeah, it's not very often you get to see the Kaya and Sanj being finished off on Jabs. Good on you, Jabs.
Yeah, he is complimenting himself today, so feeling really nice about his gameplay today. And Geek Fam, oh, he definitely does, right? He's been on point with these shots on the Ice Blast, and Geek Fam, it's falling apart. Like, they still have their tier 2 bot, so Fnatic can't go for that full Mega Creeps. In fact, they go away from the range barracks. Oh, Savage.
Well, getting caught out with the lasso. That's going to be a big pick-off. They actually find it. The rest of the team just already left the building. Savage is maybe sticking around a little too late, and it'll cost him. Of course, he wasn't the one holding the Aegis. That was Moon. So, and speaking of, it does expire now. I mean, it's a fair bit of gold. It's not going to affect Fnatic that much, I don't think, though. I mean, they've got a 24k net worth lead.
Oh,
Zipping in, though, Carl, a very, very nice BKB. Now the silence came out, but they don't have lasso. But they have a Soulbind. And with the silence, it's going to be enough. In fact, no, he's just too tanky. There's just no follow-up. Geek Fam, they're trying to be creative here, but well, now Ice jumps in with the Inkswell, with the Dragon Tail. They're going to just perma-stun up Raven. And Raven, well, he doesn't even have anything to use right now. He can't Omni, he can't do anything else. He will die. Cuckoo as well, probably going to go down, and they've called the GG. And Fnatic with a very, very dominant Game 1 victory over Geek Fam. Geek Fam, great start, but overall the draft just couldn't carry them through.
Yeah, they needed to play a lot faster. They didn't quite get that done. And Fnatic just exploited holes, so...
FY, he's found himself No-Tail out on his own.
He's trapped him.
There's No-Tail. Is he going to get any sort of backup? No, he's not. There's 3 still dead on OG. It'll be a slow and painful death here for No-Tail as Zame comes in for the kill secure.
And I love the way that Chalice popped his BKB super early in that fight. He just knows, I just need to get my ulti off. And he cast it at a very safe range. He didn't wait for the last second of his BKB. He's not very greedy. I think that's a lot of the reason why they've been winning these team fights. Seb has been struggling, still about 1,000 gold away from his BKB.
I mean, yeah, this Brewmaster is a display of perfection, really. It's the highest level in the game with his Bloodseekers.
And doing a ton of damage in the fight. It's one of the most damage in the game as an offlaner.
Now has full Shiva, so even more ways. He's pretty much itemized entirely just to be like, Ana, I'm ruining your game. I've got Radiance, I've got Shivas. You're going to struggle so much in these fights as Phantom Lancer.
Eric's did his best to keep Ana alive, and but Ana wasn't able to do damage because he was ruptured. He wasn't that low on HP, but still can't run around.
Seb.
Oh, I'm coming in this here.
Got to be careful who shows up top. Indeed, Jerax is going out on his own. He doesn't expect Zame to have this invis rune. As our mate will show himself. Jerax goes across, but Somnus is there.
Somnus is not messing around rupturing there.
No mercy. They're feeling very confident now at this point, getting these very advantageous team fights as well as getting kills on the split push too. Thompson though, we'll find Xnova.
Seb, and as well. Between the two of them, they'll take down the support edge. FY's going to come in though. He hasn't got anyone else with him at the moment. It is just FY, so just playing around with Seb.
He has no help around at all, and he's still just making Seb's life miserable.
He's toying with him. He's just making him not be able to come back. Look, they're already starting to rotate this Brewmaster and Bloodseeker too, and FY, he's ready to look for Seb.
Seb's got to get out.
Oh, Seb.
As indeed FY, the patience keeping that control on Seb, buying time for Chalice to come in. Ana is going to look towards the Tusk. Chalice is now there, does have Primal Split available if he wants to look to take this fight. Somnus coming in as well. As Ana, Seb look to hide in the trees. Can they get out of it? Ana's got a TP available. He's into the trees. He's going to show himself in the lane though. They're going to continue to head over. They are going to see Seb make it out in time. They don't have a stun. Ana, can he get out as well? He can. OG will avoid that rotation from PSG LGD.
FY is just so obnoxious there, following Seb for over a minute, just stalking him, trying to have his team come over.
So that's about, a minute without Aegis being used for LGD. They have 2 minutes left, I would say, to capitalize on this Aegis. Oh man, looks like he is leveling the PL.
Pretty much back to a 50-50. PSG LGD 2-1 up at the moment in this best of 5 grand finals. 1 game needed to secure the championship title. And at this point, they are ahead here in game 4.
No-Tail hasn't had time to gather a full army of Ancient Creeks. Right now, he just has the Ancient Black Dragon. You really want those other auras when you're at a big disadvantage in these team fights already.
Yeah, it's tough though, because Jerax doesn't want to be following around his Chen, giving him the Aghanim, so. As Thompson, he does have a Lincoln Sphere picked up, and they should have the BKB finished on Seb too. So that'll give him a little bit easier time to get those blink calls as he's been suffering to do so in the last few fights. And Somnus, full I've Scotty picked up, about to be level 25 as well.
Yeah, they just need a couple more minutes on the side of OG before they're ready to fight. Wait for Aegis to expire.
Seb, he's in, gets the call, the character's going to get FY, there with the snowball save. He's going to be fine, and now they turn to look towards the axe. The taunt's going to be out. Seb goes for the TP. They've got the stun to cancel though. Seb held back for now. Thompson trying to offer his best from the side to provide some sort of safety, as he will get Seb back. They're able to get Seb back to safety, and Thompson, he's running away. Xnova's there with the wraparound, gets the slow off, gives the vision for the snowball. TP from No-Tail's coming in towards the stride, but Thompson, he's trapped.
That's twice in the series that Xnova just comes out of nowhere. Like, he's just on a warding expedition, then he just ends up wrapping behind these people constantly.
Perfect time.
Perfect timing, and has the Centaur creep to boot. And look at these deep wards that he's placed during that time that he was running around doing so. He now has full vision of OG. Yeah, he sees Ana farming these Ancients right now.
Oh, Ana. FY just giving so much information for the team. He's got eyes on him. Get the punch on the wrong target, but the snowball pass will catch Ana. Ana, he's in trouble. The blood bright silence connects. He's got the matchup back up in a second, but can he really play his way out of this one? He cannot. Ana down for a minute and a half.
Just having all this vision. Xnova throughout this whole tournament has had the best vision in every situation, even when you wouldn't expect it. You're just like, oh, they're fighting on the left side. They're not going to have vision over here. But no, Xnova always seems to have those prepared in every situation.
And he has some incredible foresight to be able to have these wars that just lead to really clutch pickoffs. And Axe has not spent his money on BKB. He has the money, but he might be looking to save for buyback.
We'll see if any of the buybacks do get forced out. Thompson's still dead for 15. Ideally, he doesn't buy back it. They may have to buy back on Ana. He's gone for 50 seconds. The split coming out from Chalice. He's ready to push in, look for the stun on No-Tail to hold back the Chen as the mid-racks are exposed. PSG LGD, 40 minutes in, able to open into the base and clean out this mid lane of racks. Still Ana holding on to that buyback.
And they're going to keep going here. They really want to force this PL to come back here.
Stun onto Thompson. He will blink dodge it. But another tier 3 tower falling incredibly fast. They really don't want to use it. Seb jumps in, gets the call onto FY. There's the buyback. The Cataclysm isn't enough to do anything. It isn't. PSG LGD still fighting strong. Thompson getting focused by Somnus. Seb taken down by Army. The triple buybacks now out as Ana in trouble. He's pulled back for this one. The deafening blast onto the 3 of them knocks them back. But Ana gets focused. Seb! He's in with the call. He has the control onto the morphing Somnus. Now being chased by Thompson. Blinks in with the cold snap. The PL army is on top of it. They get Somnus too. As OG, they have to expend 3 buybacks, but they hold on to the top rack. Somnus now down for 2 minutes. No buyback available on this Bloodseeker.
Yeah, he's 400 gold short of it. It's up in about 8 seconds. OG, they have to make so much happen here. They have to push out all their lanes. 2 of the side lanes are already gone, but I think trying to get some kills here, like on FY here, would be very ideal.
I mean, look how close the Brew is at 25.
So close.
With that primal split cooldown.
Oh, Thompson, he sees it FY. He's used the snowball, he turns with the combo FY with the self-fuels, but OG, they've surrounded him. Seb jumps in with the call, the blade mail, FY's gone.
Instant buyback from FY.
Still that scary, scary time for LGD. 75 seconds without Somnus. OG have the full 5-man pushing in all 3 lanes at the same time as they approach LGD's base.
I don't even know if I get the head for this team fight. I mean, LGD are big goal, but no blood take up to 60 seconds. This could be disastrous.
He's got a full BKB on Seb as well.
Chalice really wants to hit level 25 before he pops that primal split. So close.
Just got to be careful, Seb. Looking for that blink initiation.
Chalice is stepping back. Grabs, they give him the tome. He needed like 5 experience, and they gave him the tome just to make sure that he gets it anyway. Just playing as safe as possible here.
Looks like OG don't feel that the window is big enough for them to push in whilst this Bloodseeker's still dead. They'll back away.
They can't count. They bought back 3 heroes. They weren't able to get any T3s, and there's no Roshan up yet. Big Daddy No Tail's praying for a Rosh right now so they can get that refresher, but it's not going to be out. And maybe we'll dodge a bullet.
At least they got a good amount of economy off that, right?
Yep.
It was up to a 15k gold advantage, and they chunked it down to 7. Same thing with experience. So they did get quite a lot out of that one, but they ideally wanted to get at least one of those sets of racks to get some momentum pushing in with those 3 buybacks used.
Absolutely, it is this really scary moment of the game now for OG. We're about 5-6 minutes still without those buybacks available. If PSG LGD can find that one team fight, it could be the team fight to win TI in this window of time that they now have presented to themselves.
Ana's gone full in for that butterfly too. As they pick up also an Aeon disc on Jeremy, so protected in O. DD did spawn, however, was killed.
It's also pretty scary for Maybe right now. He only has a 5-second BKB, and he does a lot of damage and will get wrecked by the X Blade Mail call if he finds it, especially with his BKB now. There's not that many ways to stop him.
So it's all about FY and Chalice, right? Just either saving or just getting into the midst of the fights and not allowing OG to get the picks.
And the smoke, it's going to be dispelled.
Let's get dispelled.
He's in the trees, they're on the high ground, they've got the vision with the Shivas covered, Anna's on his way over, they've got the snowball down, there's the Catapult, Seb jumps in, he's able to find the call onto Chalice, but Chalice already got the BKB out, the Sunstride's going to be down onto FY, but FY will survive. Seb pots the BKB, he'll try and stand his ground, but Seb, he's going to go down, no buyback on the axe, as Jarex as well, surrounded by PSG LGD, the Eon disc will proc, but they'll fight through it.
He has to buy back immediately.
Look at these creep track by these Force Spirits. On the bottom room, they have no creeps in the mid lane.
Sienna still holding on to that buyback on Jarex. But as Ben said, the creeps aren't here.
It's backdoor. Can they breach through it? It's not looking like it right now. Maybe everyone hitting the same one.
That creep cutting, is it enough to hold OG in the game?
You see No Tail's already running to just, he doesn't care. He's going to throw his life for this. He needs to just keep these creeps out of the base to keep that back door up. He doesn't care if he dies.
Which he certainly will, as they get upon him. They find his life. 1 minute now without No Tail and without Seb. Thompson, Anna, and Jarex. The only 3 heroes that can offer their defense during this final minute, this final stand.
Jarex is really trying to hold on to his buyback.
As Chalice split of course up once again. They're finishing off this second set of racks. He's got the Cyclone holding Anna up in the skies. As this rack's on the top lane will fall, the melee rack's gone. PSG LGD playing this carefully. As they'll go down towards the bottom as well. Arme, doppelgangers, he's losing a fair bit of mana into the PL. Still able to shift back into their Morphling if needs be. As OG, they will lose their top racks, but they won't lose the game. PSG LGD are playing it safe. They know how close they are to victory, and they will not throw it away.
And they know that the Rosh is probably respawning pretty soon, and it actually is up, so that is that refresher shard. They already have pretty much infinite primal splits up anyway, but they feel very confident here.
They weren't able to deward that ward in the mid lane, so it looks like they are going for a Roach fake out.
Check. Anna is on top of X-Nova. The Ghost Step's going to the set. Oh. He's in. The call, the EMP, the Cataclysm, and FY is in. He's able to get the save off in time to keep this man alive. But he's got it off. Chalice is down. Buyback from X-Nova and Chalice. FY with the Invis. Somnus looking to get involved. Pods the BKB to get over the ice roll. They get on top of Seb. Seb's in trouble. Seb's gone. The axe down once again for 90 seconds. As now FY giving them the vision, but they see him. Got the doppelganger to jump away from the snowball. The snowball over to Thompson. The self-fuels. FY trying to buy time for the rest of LGD to come in. Again, up into the air. Arme straight on top of Notel. FY will fall. Arme looking towards Notel. Notel pops the hand of God, but Notel beaten down by Arme and Somnus. Chalice gets the primal split off as Anna. He's been left behind in Thompson. He's got to do something incredible in terms of the combo. Can he find the angle? Jerax coming in, keeping Anna alive. Anna with a doppelganger. The deafening blast comes out onto the two of them. Anna trying to go in, looking for the kill. Can he find it in time onto X-Nova? He's on top of him, trying to beat him down. Anna again with the doppelganger, now retreating back towards the base. As X-Nova will survive. Jerax back in, the combo. Meatball down onto Chalice, but Chalice is so tanky. Boss the Shiva's gone. He's on top of Jerax. Jerax is gone. Anna as well. Can he really fight back against the Somnus, and X-Nova is so low? As the buyback for Jerax comes in, he's healing Anna back up. That buyback could set them up for the kill on X-Nova. The cold snap down onto the attraction. They find him. Arme, he's out of Anna. He's starting to shift into the strength, but he's surrounded. OG, can they find the ball? They can! OG are still in the game. Arme buys back immediately. But now it's PSG LGD's turn to be without two of their supports. Seb's going to be back up in 8 seconds.
Oh my god, that buyback from Jerax onto that shrine, being able to save Ana, but Ana also toying with them with that doppel. He sent the illusion. They thought that was the real one. They actually couldn't finish him off, even though they got the thirst vision of him for a second.
With the level 25 talent on the doppelganger, it's really hard to kill him.
Seb,
Yeah.
he's looking straight for the play. Can he find Somnus? He's hunting. Somnus, he's there, Seb. He'll see him. Oh, doesn't get the call though, and now Seb. He'll be ruptured. They're looking at him, but Anna, he's straight in on top of Somnus. Somnus puts the BKB. Anna again with the double guy. They see Cataclysm coming out. And Somnus still alive. Anna will be able to force him away. They've got the hex. They've got the control. They're on top of him. Can they kill him in time? They can. Chalice got for 2 minutes. And Seb, he's finding, looking for Arme. Big Daddy Notel gets the penitence out. Only onto the illusion though. Arme able to waveform up to the high ground. As Arme should be fine here.
Thompson's got the ghost, so he's got Hex up soon too.
Oh, the doppelganger Arme's over the trees. Can he hide his way out of this?
He's back. Real one.
Goes for the waveform. Seb tries for the call, but he's already out of there. Nice play from Arme.
And he buys so much time too for his team there. The Brewmaster was dead for 120 seconds, now only 90.
Still a big window for OG. They're only without Jerax for the same amount of time. And that lead that PSG LGD had, it is going down a little bit. Only 4K, 5K at the moment with these last few fights. Obviously the 25s now coming out on OG. Thompson's into the pit.
What a timely DD coming out for him too. I don't think they expected to be taken out this fast. He's almost able to solo it with the help of these summons. And that's a refreshing shot. There's no way to get this. There's no way LGD can.
Oh, and the Seb level 25 too. That extra Berserker's Call AoE. It catches people out. They don't expect it.
It does not feel like OG Q-Rex now.
Yeah. The Berserker's Call now is, I mean, the AoE is really massive now when you have that talent.
It's so hard to play against. Can PSG LGD do it? They've got the Basher now for Somnus. For just a 2K lead with those last big comeback plays from OG. Still 30 seconds without Chalice.
Double Hex coming out now. Thompson and these 5-second BKBs. Yeah, I mean, they were crushing with their BKBs.
He's spotted out.
Got the vision. They're on top of him. Thompson, he's in trouble. The Nullify comes out, but he got the Ghost Walk off as well as the Hex in time. Now, Somnus turns out the blood runs down. Thompson! He's dead for 100. Has got the buyback available. PSG LGD will certainly look to force it out of them.
FY just with a Shadow Blade. As soon as they split up, he finds the perfect opportunity there on Thompson.
You got to be careful going out on the map when FY's alive. There's every chance in the world that he's going to be watching you from the trees.
And at this point, I think for Ame, it's actually going to be very worth it for him to actually just try and burn all the mana from the Phantom Lancer, so he can't doppelganger all the time. That's causing a huge issue in the team fights. And I see that Chalice is using his Dispel Magic every single cooldown on these Phantom Lancer illusions, but there's still way too many that are causing havoc in these teams.
It's too constant. Like that doppel cooldown being 3 seconds just
seconds
allows him to always be able to play around a little bit around the brew. They don't really have like this crazy AoE when you look at LGD's lineup. Just clear out those illusions. It's really a lot based off them just trickling them down slowly with like the Shivas and the Radiants and knowing exactly which one it is.
Yep, he doesn't have the crit talent, but now he does have crit from that Bloodthorn coming out.
It's a lot of damage that Nano can offer to the fights now.
And Brewmaster without BKB, very vulnerable. Cold Snap, Bloodthorn, Berserker's
Radiant
Call. There's a lot of ways
team
that they can prevent him from getting that ult.
He just commits it from the back just to be careful.
Fnatic's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here for game number 2. I apologize for the black screen that was there for a couple seconds. It is MLP Dota and John X Fire, and we're back for game number 2 between Geek Fam and Fnatic for ESL One Birmingham. John, we saw game 1, a very dominant victory for Fnatic. We're into the secondary draft for game 2. You think Geek Fam is going to make some big differences here in this second draft?
Fnatic's turn to ban.
They really need to shake it up a bit, especially with their core pickup for Raven. Maybe give him something he's comfier with. You fall back to perhaps a Terrorblade if you really wanted to. Something where he can pump up the damage early on. They would be tied to a big cooldown with the Terrorblade, but I think it's kind of okay in this case. And you just want to bring out your best against Fnatic. Granted, you know, Geek Fam do look better in terms of the overall state of the groups, but Fnatic is still a hard team to go up against, and you should still be ready for these kinds of aggressive plays from a team like this.
Yeah, I definitely say you probably should be very, very ready for it. And game 2, we'll see what kind of differences they make here up against Fnatic. Of course, the bans look relatively similar, apart from the DK ban, which was put out there by Geek Fam. So they felt like that DK was a pretty big problem, and well, ISIS was doing some really nice work on that DK, so I can't quite blame them. Fnatic, though, they will be starting off with first pick. I wonder what they'll prioritize.
I mean, there's a lot of options for Fnatic to start out with. I think one thing that they could try, or at least maybe trick Geek Fam into, is a Chen start. For Fnatic, that could be the Ice or Jabs here if they do start out that way. That wasn't banned. They start with a Shaker instead. So they've locked in, more than likely, the DJ hero, but it's a really strong hero for DJ in that case. And of course, we've seen Shakers make a lot of plays. It's not the most standard first pick, but it's still a solid hero.
I'd say so. Geek Fam, however, they respond with the Clockwork and the Queen of Pain, and I gotta say, I love the Clock into the Earthshaker. It just makes the ES life very, very hard. So naturally, when you are going to choose a pos for Earthshaker like that, it's gonna lead to an immediate counter in the Clock, but Fnatic must be feeling pretty confident. Like, Earthshaker's not a hero you see being first picked at all in this current meta, let alone being picked up in general. But now it's just Fnatic seem to really, really want this hero. Maybe we'll find out why in the next pick. I mean, I know DJ plays the hero great. I just didn't think it was really first pick material.
No, I'd say it's not, but maybe Fnatic really prioritizes that map control. Again, just fissure blocks are great. It enables Moon a lot when they pick it up. They pick up the morph as well. So there's the reasoning. They just want the Shaker morph combination. And even if the Clockwork kind of counteracts the Shaker, it doesn't really do as much against a morph. Like the Morphling still has a lot of leeway to get what he wants done. So Fnatic, they do go back to that 23 Savage special, and we know their win rate for that Morphling. It's pretty high. We were talking about 23 Savage's pub profile. There's a reason for a certain stat being 0, and I want to say the Morphling's one of those reasons.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe I didn't even think about this. Like the Earthshaker into the morph. How could I not guess this is what was going to happen? Fnatic just, why not? Geek fam, they will go ahead and pick up an Oracle, so they have some nice defensive capabilities up against that morph. Nice little pick up there from Geek fam. Still doesn't really reveal much from this Geek fam side though. Like the game plan isn't really out there yet.
No. It's still kind of flexible as well. Like I believe Geek Fam has given Cuckoo the clock a couple of times. So if they wanted to, they still have that option as well. Instead of running at this +4, if they want something else in that position, it certainly is possible. I think the Oracle here is super nice, mainly because it allows Geek Fam to go for a different +1 as well. We could see it could enable the Terrorblade, it could also enable something like the Troll. So Geek Fam have those options in because of that Oracle pick. There you go, Troll.
Very, very simple pick here for Geek Fam, and the Troll does work very, very nicely into the Morphling as well. So you can't really disagree with that pick coming out from Geek. Fnatic, of course, they went for the Nature's Prophet. And that should be an Ice Prophet coming out, which will be a treat to watch. Can be very, very frustrating on this hero if you're having to play up against him.
5 seconds.
Still, though, the Troll shouldn't have too rough of a time, right? Like you've got the natural way of getting out of the Sprout in those Whirling Axes. Overall, in terms of lane pressure, the Prophet can be annoying, but the Troll has ways to deal with it. So it shouldn't be too bad of a game for Raven, going into the laning stage at least.
Yeah, it's not gonna be too troublesome. I think the one thing is actually really not Raven's lane. They have to watch out for whatever they give Cuckoo, because Ice could opt for the early rotations with his teleportation. So there is something there for Fnatic with that early aggression that you do have to maybe watch out for. One thing as well, I think we kind of glazed over on Geek Fam's side, is that, of course, we have, I think we have seen it from Geek Fam, the offlane Quap. That could just be what they're going for, like a +4 clock offlane Quap, and they still have to kind of reveal their mid pickup. So the Queen of Pain on the off can cause issues for the morph. It's not fun for Morphling to lane there, although, Fnatic Venge pickup now. So we do see that hero pop in. It can work, especially with something like the Nature's Prophet. You're amping up the right clicks of your Morphling. With the wave, the single target control, it's nice. You have the swap, take someone out from cogs. So there is that way of kind of counteracting that. It's not the most common support pick, but still pretty solid in this lineup specifically.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Secret was running the support Venge the other day in EU, so some teams seem to think this hero is sort of back in that support role, and it still does its job, right? It's still lane dominant with the Wave of Terror. Still saves allies very, very well. Still offers that aura even though she's dead. She gets that nice illusion. The aura is basically always going to be there, which is really what you want in the hero to begin with. So I suppose it is still a very, very nice pickup here from Fnatic. And like you mentioned, it buffs up the Morphling even more. You can't say no to that. More stats, John.
Absolutely.
Important.
Very important. I think the last time we saw the Venge was when you had aura stacking, so it was the Venge, the Beastmaster, and even a support Luna was coming out there, which I think that's one of the ideal situations if you have that kind of draft. This case, you don't have the most value. This might enable, maybe something like the TA comes out for Moon. I think that's pretty potent here. You have to worry about the disarm from the Oracle. But beyond that, especially if you're not even thinking about the Queen of Pain mid, Like the TA can kind of build off of that minus armor the Venge is giving, although again it's just a bit tricky when you're still trying to figure out the Queen of Pain, which again should be cuckoo, but there is still that flexibility in just tossing it mid, and they don't have last pick here, Fnatic, so a bit risky to try that TA. They could opt for maybe the Storm. Not the best lockdown here from Geek fam. Clockwork, Oracle, you know, it's like you're relying on the root best. So it's something a Storm Spirit would be able to dance around if they wanted.
Well, I mean, he just had a great game on the Storm, so it's definitely a possibility here for Fnatic to pick up. There, of course, is still going to be counter potential in that last pick for Geek fam. So this last pick here for Fnatic is never really going to be easy. They may just go down the safer route, you'd call it that. Just pick up something that just works, like up against that Queen of Pain. If it is going mid, then you could just run the you know, something like a Lina. Works. And
oh, okay, that works with a minus armor. Like, you know, the TA was there, but the Clinks kind of builds off of the Venge really nicely as well. Honestly, it's been so long since we've actually casted a game with the Clinks that I forget what to expect, but it does make Fnatic's draft a bit more, a bit less straightforward. Like, there is a lot going on here. I think the push potential is pretty scary, with the NP and perhaps the Clinks running around to melt these towers. Potent. Geek fam certainly does have ways to deal with it. They have great burst in Queen of Pain. I think they really just need a mid to tie it in. They kind of did ban out, so if they wanted, they could try for the Storm.
So well, you don't think it's a Queen of Pain mid?
I just have a feeling that they do tend to like leaving their last picks for mid as well, although a Queen of Pain mid isn't too bad here. Like Clinks, say, for example, that's not an outstanding lane for the Clinks. So that matchup is kind of settled. It's just, I know, it's what do you want in your offlane in that case? Like, the Queen of Pain handles the morph pretty nicely. I think that's one thing. If they did want to go that route, okay, yeah, it's the offlane Quap, it's the mid lane SF for Carl, and that's pretty potent, right? We have seen Shadow Fiends really go online fast. This does rectify Geek fam's issues of going a bit too slow in game one. So they do have a way of shooting online super fast. It's just that Fnatic is looking pretty darn fast as well. They do have to maybe find Farmer and DJ and Savage, but Ice, Jabs, Moon don't require too much investment. These are heroes that can run around, at least melt objectives, and force a reaction out from Geek fam.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, DJ is one of those heroes, one of those players where he just finds farm no matter what. I don't think that they're going to be concerned about DJ at all. I think it's just going to be about Savage. Just make the space for the Morphling, and Fnatic will, you know, the other four will do the rest. Geek fam, of course, going to really try and focus down and ensure Savage does not get that amazing Morphling performance he's looking for this game. Which is quite hard, John. He plays a lot of Morphling. He tends to do very, very well on it. The Clockwork as well, so you do have some counters towards that Morphling later on in the game. Overall, I think Geek fam has a much better chance winning this game than they did in game one, just based on drafts. Especially considering it's gone for something a little more experimental in that mid Clinks. Like, I don't necessarily doubt the Clinks straight off the bat, because it does do a lot of damage if you kind of leave it alone for a bit, but I don't know. Is it gonna get that great start you're looking for?
It's a lot harder against the SF. Well, actually, yeah, no, it's a lot harder against the SF just because you are super squishy in the laning phase. Like, you can play around the death pack, I suppose. It's just a massive cooldown. There's some pretty big downtime for that spell, and you do have to dip into the jungle. Now on the Dire, that's pretty okay. Like, the distance is not too far, so you can kind of make that work. It's gonna be super important for Moon to maintain control in that jungle area of his, just to maximize death pack if he does level it up.
I'm sure he will.
30 seconds to battle.
See if Moon can have that same kind of performance he had in game 1, where he carried the team for the first, say, 15 to 20 minutes. Then, of course, Savage on the peel take over, but even then, Moon was really just giving it to the side of Geek Fam in game 1. Definitely looks to see if he can repeat that kind of performance in game 2, and what we'll see is it's going to be a bit of a scuttle over this top rune, it looks like. Savage and Jabs going to show themselves over to Cuckoo. And Jabs will just go ahead and pick up the bounty, and it will end up being a 2-for-2 trade. Oh no, it'll be a 3-for-1 trade. Fnatic do end up finding 3 bounty runes for themselves, so nice little gold bonus to start off this game.
Yeah, just a little bit of an edge there for Fnatic. Of course, one thing we didn't talk about, Mike, especially with that mid, when you have the SF and clock, you can start with 12 souls. So Carl, his presence is very, very potent off the bat here.
Yeah, it's that classic classic SF clock, but yeah, you're looking at Moon right now.
Ooh. Yeah, no.
They recently
like,
buffed those searing arrows as well, right? I think they buffed the early damage to it.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like Carl has 12 Necromastery stacks. He's certainly not pumping the damage.
Top lane, Savage actually ends up going down. They ran a bit of a tri lane up top and they caught him out, but mid lane now, Moon finds the kills. DJ rotates in, and well, Moon, he was very, very low on that clinks, but with DJ around, they secure another kill. So, and then of course denies himself off of the reset, but it'll be a 1-to-1 essentially between these two. Geek Fam the ones to pick up the first blood.
Yeah, it's I'd say it's much more important for Geek Fam to hunt Savage, so they do win out in that trade. Just shutting down the morph early can make it hard for Fnatic to play around that hero. So I like that early prioritization and keeping Savage in control. It's pretty aggressive from Cuckoo though.
He's being very aggressive right now and does get the blink off. Jabs, no wave of terror to throw out, so at the very least you force Cuckoo all the way back to the fountain and he's going to have to make the walk of shame back up. It's going to be a lot of wasted time for a position 3 Queen of Pain. I guess for Zephyr it'd be a nice little break on the clockwork to get some XP for himself, but this is the thing, right? You get the first blood on Savage, that doesn't necessarily mean you've done anything. You've gained some gold for yourself, but Savage is still going to freely just farm up.
Yeah, he is super on point with his jungle rotations. He's still top in terms of last hits. So despite all of that, you know, he's still number 1 in last hits. Like, this is a really good start overall for Fnatic. You would want Geek Fam to keep that pressure up. Just keep that constant harassment on. If you had to run a tri lane, do it. It doesn't look like Raven's going to be copying too much anyway down bot. And
Carl, bit of a fisher to fly out from DJ, and well, Carl will be forced to salve up now, but it seems to just be a constant reminder for this SF mid that DJ is around and, you know, is always looking for a fisher. With the DPS output of Moon on that clinks, it is making it very, very hard for Carl to feel comfortable. Mind you, he has overtaken in terms of last hits on the board, but now top lane, Savage ends up finding Zephyr on the clock.
yeah, this is not the way the lane should be going for Geek Fam. Again, you have great presence with Cuckoo. He has a lot of DOTs, but I think the moment you broke up that tri lane, you just don't have enough control. Like, Clockwork's nice, but as long as Savage still has waveform, you're not going to be trapping him, and he can easily punish. So perhaps Geek Fam should invest.
He's got no mana right now for waveform. So that's a bit of an awkward situation here for Savage, as he will strength morph, but is it going to be enough? It looks like it eventually will allow him to walk out of there. He does start agi morphing, but you got to be careful about that shadow strike. That poison damage can be a bit can creep up on you, but he'll be fine. Still Zephyr gonna dive now that tier 1 tower. Cogs will not land onto Savage.
Instructions are fortified.
He's got no regen available right now, but Jabs may be willing to just give him over a tango. In fact, Jabs about to go down and force that shadow strike, and he does go down. Savage now going to show himself again, but Zephyr, he says hello. Courier going to go down to Cuckoo. He tries to waveform forward to get the stuff off the Courier. It looks like he did manage to get it just in time. But does he survive this? Zephyr is still chasing him down. There's going to be a rotation back in from Jabs, going on to Cuckoo. Magic Missile there. They'll find the Queen of Pain,
What?
and still Savage survives. Now Zephyr needed to run out of there. And they just don't have the damage.
Oh man, this is troublesome for Geek Fam. They're diving so deep. They're sacrificing their farm
Dire's middle tower
on Cuckoo this entire time. Like, he is ignoring creeps. And Savage is still finding that farm. Like, sure, he doesn't find as much now. He's pretty much tied up with ice. But you're still finding these kills. And again, he's still in this lane. So you're not solving that issue with Geek Fam. They just aren't shutting Savage down as hard as you'd want.
On the brighter side, at least Raven's having a good time down bot. It's 24-7 on the troll, and well, the same can be said about Ice. He's soaking XP and getting some decent farm himself, but he's not really able to do much to slow Raven down. Top lane again, looks like the jump is going to be onto Jazz, but Cuckoo is going to fall because of this. I don't think these are good trades at all. And yeah, Jazz says thank you very much. I'll die every time if it means if my Morphling gets a kill on you. It's I mean, it's just a pos 5 Venge, John. She doesn't need any items.
Yeah, this is really going exactly the way Fnatic would want it. And you know, the tendency we see with Fnatic is when DJ is on that shaker, they actually do taper out their lanes a bit. Like, you just see mid rotations with a Fissure. But the fact that they're finding these kills up top means that we're probably going to see pretty decent timings in Savage. And again, you could argue that Raven's having a great time in the troll, and he is, but the timings of a troll aren't as explosive as a morph. Like, morphling is much more sensitive to finding that early farm.
Yeah, and well, speaking of Raven getting jumped right now, the skeletons to be dropped, and Raven does die. It's just so much damage when you drop that wall. If you get a nice lineup, it really can just turn a team fight, but for now, it's a very important pick off for Moon.
Yeah, just a lot of activity from Fnatic off the bat. Just willing to rotate around those lanes. They give DJ the mid lane to soak up. Probably not going to be getting as much as he'd want because of the huge level deficit with Carl. But this does mean you're keeping this SF from rotating as well. So you're not going to see any offensive action from Carl.
Yeah, Moon's taking some very early advantage on that siege creep at the 5-minute mark, just pushing down the T1 tower. Zephyr went down up the top lane while all that's happening. Now in the mid lane, DJ ends up going down on the Earthshaker. So Carl does eventually get the kill on the ES. But this isn't going to save that T1 bot tower, which is just being dropped very, very early. Back Ice, yeah, he'll just stick around. He'll claim it with the treants. Raven may be able to find the kill now. Zephyr has rotated in, so Ice will pay for this, but Moon is thinking about coming back in. He doesn't have the burning army though, so I'm not sure if he can actually get a kill here onto Raven, but now DJ showed up. The treant blocks from Ice from the grave, and now the pressure as well. Raven's in trouble. He's forced to pop the battle trance. DJ we chase down, battery assault there from Zephyr. He will die, but Raven knows Moon is following. Cogs out from Zephyr just to try and ensure Moon doesn't get too close. And eventually they will have to let the kill go.
Yeah, it's a nice little pickup for Geek Fam. Like, you're slowing DJ down massively, but that rotation is freeing up the map for Savage. Look up top. He's just free to farm up however he wants. No pressure onto Morphling anymore. He's got his Morbid Mask up pre-10 minutes in. That's a pretty good sign for the pace of the Morph. That's a really good pace, actually, considering that lane.
Mid lane, Moon getting caught out here by Zephyr. It looks like he may go down, though he does heal up a little bit, but it's not going to be enough. But he got that skeleton army out, and now Carl, he will go down as the trade. They even find more in the form of that Oracle. Ice came in from the side. And so it's a 2-for-1 trade in the end. Carl was at the top of the net worth board, so you're not going to mind actually trading away your life if you're the Clinks.
Yeah. Just a nice little win for them, finding those 2 kills. And again, these rotations do mean Geek Fam is sacrificing a lot in these side lanes. At the same time, Geek Fam is buying time for Raven to farm, I suppose. So there is that to consider, but again, it's just not as explosive. The one weakest thing with Fnatic right now is DJ. Like, again, it's been a slow start for Shaker. He's still level 3. Jabs is at 6. You need to start funneling some resources towards that pause 4 now. to get that blink timing and level 6 up.
No, he's just taking some stacks in the jungle. Even finds a nice arcane ring for himself. It's always a very, very nice item as a support. It's that little burst of mana, and even the int is quite nice. Gonna hit that level 4 mark now as well, so he's getting there slowly but surely, and it looks like he has already ensured that he's taking the turn. Savage gonna get caught out now, the Morphling, or rather, maybe Zep is the one to get caught out. In fact, Savage is going even deeper, waveforming straight into Raven, but they'll leave it at that. They claim the clock kill, and well, I wasn't really expecting Savage to just rotate down to the bot lane like this, but it looks like he may try and apply a little bit of pressure. In fact, no, he's going to steal some ancient creeps off the side of Geek.
Yeah, this is a really good movement coming out from Fnatic. They're just shutting down this entire bot area. So there's no real safe farm for Geek Fam. They have to opt for... Oh?
Gotta watch out for those ancients.
No.
Savage, they do a lot of damage. Be careful about those. You were saying, John.
Not quite tanky yet, but yeah. This does leave Geek Fam in a bit of a riskier spot. They have to farm this top jungle instead. And you still have the tier 1 you could TP into if you're Fnatic. You have the outpost as well. It's not safe for Geek Fam compared to how much more control Fnatic has, and this is just what they're forced to do.
Top lane, they do get Ice on the Prophet, but they're losing their mid tier 1 while all this is happening. So there is going to be a rotation in, back from Carl. He's thinking about using the Requiem shot. Oh, Zephyr, he misses. Now Cuckoo will jump in, but there's also going to be... well, he's just going to invis and run away. Tier 1 does get denied off by Carl, but ultimately the tower is gone. And now Moon, looking to try and hunt up a top lane, sees Raven. It's not going to be that easy of a kill by himself, and looks like he's just going to go secure some more farm on this Clinks.
Yeah, they need a little bit more on a few of their cores, but that deny down mid again forces out a huge rotation that isn't hunting Savage, and he's still just free to get what he wants in bot lane. They get the D ward as well on the little ward that's been watching Savage, so he's got a lot more leeway than just staying here. And Cuckoo,
I mean, that's all you can do if you're Cuckoo right now. You just Shadow Strike. Hope for the best. No rotations coming in as of yet from Geek Fam to try and deal with him. And
oh no.
Savage just blinks straight back in. Cuckoo has blink available. Moon, he's waiting for it. Now the TP away. Jabs, can you stun in time? He can swap. And it was just a very, very risky play for Cuckoo that really just did not pay off whatsoever.
Nah, and Jabs is still tipping himself. Just saying well played. Amazing play, Jabs. Really big swap there. Props to him.
He is doing a great job, John. You don't always have to knock on the +5s. Zephyr going on Ice, who does sprout away. Still going to be in a lot of trouble. He is not even going to bother trying to TP out. He'll just save it. That's a nice kill again. Ice on that +3 Prophet. Now his 3rd death of the game.
But look at this. He's dragging that creep wave away. So it's going to be harder to get that push all the way back.
This is classic Ice. Even though he's dead, it's not over. There's going to be some influence being placed on the map right here. Mid lane, Carl, Echo Slam going to be there, and he does go down.
Oh man, he's just not safe. There's a Clinks, you know, he is ready to go. He's just going to stay around invis. Has a shaker around for control. They can just melt these heroes if you're not careful down the lane.
Well, Clinks is very similar to like a Ricky, right? You don't really need much farm to be effective. You could just start rotating across the map with your team and just start doing things. In fact, he spots out Cuckoo. Cuckoo, are you getting body blocked right now? No, he's not.
No.
Gets spotted. There's the, whoopsie.
It happens, right?
Nobody saw that, Jabs, don't worry. Not like it was on stream or anything.
That was a bit early, to be fair. Like, to start twacking on Queen Pain, of course she's gonna be suspicious. Yeah, it secured him their tier 2 down bot, so they still find the objective from that kind of movement. And you're still gonna be happy. I mean, Raven is finding free farm, though. This is one thing for Geek Fam that's working out quite well. The farm on Carl and Raven has been good. They're still top 2 right now. It's a very slight edge for Fnatic, and even Savage, despite having a pretty free time, has not farmed as efficiently as you'd expect. So there's still a lot for Fnatic to wait out on, and they have to be a bit careful with how far they throw Savage. If he gets caught out, you're going to be losing out in a lot of form.
Cuckoo back down to the bot lane. Fisher going to be there. Jabs looking to try and get another stun off if he can. They'll try to get vision as Cuckoo's going to juke him out to the left side, and it's a nice juke there from Cuckoo. Now the rest of Geek fam, they've had enough of Cuckoo being bullied, and all smoke going to be broken. Zephyr will hook shot in, but a great swap out from Jabs immediately, and Zephyr just melts. Moon took him out so quick, and now, do you really want to fight like this? Not in the Skeleton Army, surely. Cuckoo, he's about to fall. He does blink away in time. Moon is still on the chase. Although nice stuff's coming out from Whiteman, realizing this was happening. Swap is going to be there, and it will save Moon. The Sonic Wave was just barely out of reach. And Jabs again telling himself he did a great job as Ice now going to jump in. Cuckoo tried to go for the snipe on Moon, and it does not pay off.
Whew. I mean, that was fairly close, and that was a really, really good swap there for Jabs. Well played to him. Should actually use that chat wheel this time, but Geek fam just kind of overextends just a bit. Yeah, they don't lose anything too big this time around. It was just Zephyr and Cuckoo. Still costly. Like, you do want some farm between Pain and putting up for the Necrobuck. So trying to accelerate some farm, get some good stats, maybe get a little bit of push going for his team. Feels like it's not coming out fast enough. There are a couple of items coming out for Geek fam though. Like, you look at Raven, Diffusal is up and running, going into the Sanjin Yasha next, and that should help our Kroll have a lot more of a presence. I think we haven't really seen the Berserk with the False Promise yet, so there is still potency there from Geek fam. Oh,
well, DJ has a blink though. There's that vision coming out, and Whiteman's dead. You know, the one thing that does concern me about the troll build is he's going for a Sanjin Yasha next, but you look over to 23 Savage, he's almost got the Ethereal up. You might wish to go for the BKB instead, and he may opt to just swap out after he sees the Ethereal there on Savage very, very soon. I don't think he has the space for the SMY.
No. It's gonna slow down the timing of the BKB as well. I think they're just relying on the Oracle.
Trying to steal the Roshan. Aegis, no. Savage, he's got it. Cuckoo in the middle as well. It looks bad, and now the Echo comes in. DJ just secures both kills. Now, they found Carl with the Yules. Carl really has nowhere to go right now, so they're gonna chase him down with the waveform as well, and he should definitely just die, as Moon will have the follow-up damage. And even Jabs looking for another. Whiteman trying to run away, but he is going to be surrounded. Bishop Block is going to be there on Whiteman. He faints Edicts for a little bit, but they pock him up. And, you know, Fnatic, John, they're looking real good today. This is more like the Fnatic we know.
Yeah, this is the performance we expect from this team. They certainly are starting to pick up quite the pace here. They do have a solid lead set up now, 4K, and go again, like a Moon is looking for someone to kill.
Yeah, and he finds Zephyr, and Zephyr does not have anywhere near as much HP to survive Moon's damage. Raven wants to have a go here. Ice is going to just sprout Raven up. Now Cuckoo jumps in. Sonic Wave, no. It will be cancelled by DJ. Now it does come out, but Moon will be fine. Raven already popped the Battle Trance, but that's going to wear off now. It did nothing, really. They still try to go on Ice, but he's really just a diversion. Now the False Promise comes out. Cuckoo right again, but there's an Orchid now. He'll get silenced up and die, but they at least find Ice. But Carl stuck around for those treants. He's being body blocked up again, though. No, they'll switch around. Raven gonna try and go into Jabs, and it looks like Fnatic may just be done here, as they don't really have much else to throw out. Though no, Moon comes in for a support kill again, and it will end up being a 2-for-2 trade. I think that'll be it for the side of Geek fam, unless they spot out DJ here on the Earthshaker. The more important target, though, is Moon, who is currently just in the tree line waiting to see if he spots out Raven, and he does. Hook shot from Zephyr, not going to land on DJ, and Moon just spotting out everyone right now. They use him up, they know he's there. He's underneath the sentry, but here comes Savage to join his team. There's the Ethereal, but he's been blocked up by the Fisher. He can't get any further damage out.
Radiant's
Carl will finally get Adaptive Strike, but it does nothing, and now the Requiem coming out. Savage, he's in trouble. He will lose the Aegis. A very, very messy engagement from both sides. Nobody really coming out on top, but Geek fam, I'm sure they'll be happy with the fact that they at least got that Aegis off Savage.
Yeah. It gives him some more confidence in jumping that morph. They're going to have an opportunity to perhaps punish Savage here. And that entire time they were playing on the bottom.
Yeah, Raven's in trouble. You've got a Clinks, you've got an Ace Prophet,
Oh, yeah.
you've got DJ on the Earthshaker. With that Orchid, he's just got no way to survive. And, well, for now, he still has the SOI queued up. As the game goes on, obviously he is going to go for the BKB at some stage, but it's becoming increasingly necessary as this game does drag on.
Yeah, it's gonna help, and I believe at least this allows him to build into a halberd for himself if he wanted to. So there is that utility from going this build early on. It just feels like it's not quite early enough anymore. Like a 6k deficit here for Geek fam. It's not gonna be enough for you to face up against Savage, and Savage is of course saving up now. Oh.
May survive and just barely does. Moon is still on the chase, though he gets slowed up. Now it does go down. DJ gonna go for more as he chases up Whiteman. And yeah, just commits the Echo for it. Just wants to stun it. Well, False Promise is going to be there, but they might have enough damage. Moon is just pumping it out. The Urn may allow him to survive. No, it won't. The Clinks is hitting way too hard right now with the Orchid.
Yeah, it's a really scary Clinks. Like, Moon has gotten that really good start to really just take over. And Fnatic, their draft can really push hard. So they're going on the tier 2 mid. They've already chipped away on the tier 2 top as well. Ice is there to clean that up. And suddenly the map is gone for Geek fam. They don't have any access points outside of their high ground.
Moon just happily walking through. Does realize there might be a sentry there as he was scouted out there before. Savage has the Ags on the way very, very soon. That's gonna be fun to watch.
Oh man, just Shaker Morph is scary. I mean, you also have like Shaker Clinks can be. I mean, no, Morph Clinks is kind of scary as well if you think about it. There is potency there. You have to be a bit careful about. So, a lot of value for Savage, a lot of options for him to turn into.
Yeah. I mean, the skeletal walk with the Clinks can be pretty darn nice on the Morph. That is a lot of bonus attack speed you're getting. The BKB is going to be there on Carl now, so you do have some nice defensive capability from him. DJ just going to threaten it a little bit with the Fisher. And we'll see a smoke out from Geek fam. So they want to try and make something happen. It has been very, very rough of a game for them, and they are 10k behind. No, in fact, Raven says, screw it, I'm farming.
Yeah, that's really the best use of their time. They get some nice deep wards, at least, in this triangle area on the Dire jungle. So they have a little bit more. They might be able to catch Ice as well. Oh no, Suffer.
Hey, he's got him.
Yeah.
But now, Jabs gonna come in, DJ gonna be there as well. They caught Whiteman out on the Oracle at least. They will allow Zephyr to get out, but now here comes the Morphling. And, well, you got Zephyr out, but you didn't really get Raven out. That's a problem.
Not the trade you're looking for, and Savage has the Ags. Here it is.
In all its glory.
Oh, it's gonna be really hard for Geek fam to deal with that. Like, yeah, you've got the BKB on Carl. The issue here for the SF is he has no damage. He just doesn't have the damage. Even if he gets a Requiem off, there's no follow-up from Carl with the way he's itemized. Yields BKB. He's not gonna be bursting down Savage. Maybe he can burst down the Clinks when Death Pack isn't on. That's it. And the supports, of course. Those are your best options for burst.
It is very, very tough. They do here. They're just gonna
Oh.
stick around their base, just huddle up. Meanwhile, you look at
Yeah,
Fnatic, they're ready for the next Roshan attempt, but it's not out yet. We're gonna find out in about 30 seconds when it will be available.
Yeah, and
Smoke up.
they've got the BKB on Moon, so they are feeling really confident going in with that spell immunity now.
I would be too if I was Fnatic. Do scan up the Radiant side jungle. They'll find nothing. There is a counter smoke right now from Geek fam. They may run into Carl, but he's invis. In fact, no, it's just a smoke as well. But no, they won't run into the Radiant triangle. Again, just huddling in that mid lane, just waiting for their target.
Oh,
Now they make it very clear they're there, but Carl is... Oh, what? There's some bot
That's
blocks
done.
going on right now. And Carl in trouble. BKB's up, getting swapped up. Can't get the Requiem off, and he's going to die. That was actually the center of jabs, I believe.
yeah. They just got that vision, got the control, and just like that, that was a fresh BKB charge for Carl. Now their high ground's under threat.
It's not very hard when you've got a Clinks. It's a lot of damage. And Savage says, hey, why don't we go for that mid-Rax? Moon says, okay, I think we can do it. And Raven finds out they probably can as well. Cuckoo, that is not safe, sir. Does get a nice Sonic Wave off, but there's the army being dropped. And now Savage is in the middle of all of them, just cleaning them up. This game could be over. DJ, he just jumps in with an echo but misses everything. Savage is still alive meanwhile. The buybacks are flying out. They can't kill him.
Oh man. It's like,
That's it.
there you go. Yeah.
GG's called.
26 minutes. Fnatic, you give Savage Morphling, I'm not sure what you expect.
It was a really tough. I mean, it's... What can you do, right? You had to try something different with your drafts, your Geek fam, and it was really rough after game 1. Looked even worse in game 2, but Fnatic, big congrats to them, John. They were looking pretty rough over the past couple of days.